Yo, 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 this is DPS Podcast, episode number 80. It is a great Thursday evening, and we're going to have a great show. Shout out to everybody who came through. Excuse me, oh my gosh. Shout out to everybody who's come through. Shout out to Stardust, Sarah, that guy, Smitty the Ashen, Luca. We got Michi Dies a lot in the house, John the Don, our homie Eric, Jackson, and Erodimus. Hope you guys are having a great night. Let me introduce our Oh my god, I feel like I'm joking. I'm dying out here.
Luca right. You okay?
I can't talk. I can't.
You sound like Luca right now.
I'm good. You know what? It was the Red Bull. You know what? Like Deli told me, you drinking Red Bull this late. I'm like, I drink Red Bull all the time, and then like almost died from it. I'm good though. But you guys just heard our guest. Let's get started first with Mr. Agent Deli. Deli, how's it going, bro?
Oh, I'm doing well. Hello, everybody. My name is Agent Deli. I'm a former level designer at Ubisoft, and now I hang out on DPS.
Nice.
Seems like a big step down to me.
No, it's actually quite. They pay me in clout.
Oh well, then still.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really have a lot of clout here. I mean, it's just but hey, look, if we can pay you in like clout IOUs.
I need an advance actually this week.
Oh man, all right, we'll talk after the show. We'll figure it out, man. I might have to put on the Black Air Forces, but we'll figure it out.
Oh.
Anyway, we got Mr. Rand, our Thor 19. What's up, Rand? How's it going, bro?
What's going on, my fellow Bridge 4 brethren? How are you doing?
Bridge 4 for life. Yes, I'm doing good. I actually finished Edge Dancer 2 days ago, and I'm on my reread of Oathbringer. I'm so glad I did it because there's so many little things that I forgot.
There is.
Go ahead.
I wish I could call Forte my Bridge 4 brother, but
look, we gotta get him to read, man.
Not sophisticated enough.
it's just a couple of fantasy books, they may be 1,000 pages each, but like, hey, look, once you get into them, you just won't stop reading them. Next thing you know, you've read the entire series up to this point. But yeah, look, Forte, just give it a shot. First book.
Okay, sure.
That sure
he's upset. You can tell he's upset.
He's really mad.
No, what's going on, guys? What episode is this? DPS, is this 80?
Is it
episode 80? Episode 80. Yeah, man. Good to be here with Deli. Good to be here with my friend SloMo and my used to be my blood brother, Randall Thor, but he left me for books. It's okay. I understand it.
Wow. You're hurt.
You were really, that violin is just strumming right now.
Listen, I wish I had a sound effect on this on the mixer right now and be playing the violin right now. No, but for real though, I'm glad to see you guys here. I'm glad that you were able to come through, Rand. I'm glad to see Deli here as always. He's like a staple on the show. It's a lot of stuff to talk. Well, actually, it's not a lot of stuff to talk about, but you know what? It's DPS. We always find a way, and this show will not be 4 hours long like Rand shows be.
That show's not 4 hours. You're thinking of ILP, sir.
No, sir. I was listening to your show the other day. I was like, man, this show is bordering on 3 hours already.
Well, 3 hours ain't 4 hours though.
But you said last time I talked, you said this show ain't gonna be nowhere near 3 hours.
Yeah, well, sometimes it just happens that way.
3 hours is just the intro for the IOP. I mean,
the intro for IOP be like an hour and a half. Shout out to Addict, Soft, King, and Cognito.
Yeah, why aren't you out in Boston like they are for PAX, huh?
Because I believe in social distancing, and I ain't got no money to be doing.
There we go. There's the truth right there. You
just don't want to get COVID.
You ain't got the money for it.
I don't got no money. Hey, listen, we going to Carousel in August. So yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Oh yeah. Well, Betsy, you want to go too?
Yes. I take that as a compliment.
Hey, listen, man, you are more than welcome. You know, I would invite Rand, but you know, he might be reading a book somewhere at the time.
Oh
that
my
you and this
God.
leave
Leave this
book thing.
man alone.
He might be
I mean,
reading
you know,
a book somewhere. You know,
I just, you know, it's not like I didn't just dominate Elden Ring, you know, get 1,000 gamer score, all the achievements in 66 hours right
I
now.
mean,
That's
but
very nice
but you
achievement.
really didn't play the game though. You didn't beat all the side bosses. You just beat the ones that had, you know, that were, you know,
But
required. For
it is like 150 side bosses for it.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
You
there's
made it seem like
150, but there's like 2 unique bosses.
You made it seem
Right,
like
right.
you made it seem like you destroyed the game. I said,
I did destroy that game. That game's
Man,
easy. That game is so easy, bro.
What do you think about that, SloMo? He said your game that you endure, that you love is easy.
Well, look, like
I mean, compared to the
did
other
it.
ones.
Well, yeah, definitely compared to the other ones. In Elden Ring, here the difference is that if you're stuck on a boss, you can just get on your
Run
horse
away.
and go somewhere. Just go somewhere else, do something else.
It's time to go.
Overpower yourself, over level yourself to come back and just watch the boss. It is. Look, I get why a lot of the Souls fans feel like it's much easier than other Souls games. And I mean, for me, I got the platinum on it, but I kind of did it a little bit differently. I know,
You know,
like,
I saw that. I saw you throwing shade in your tweet.
hey,
You know,
it wasn't.
It was like, he's like,
shade.
you know, I did 3 real playthroughs to get the 3 endings. It's like, congratulations, you played 2 extra times to get 5 extra seconds of a cutscene that doesn't matter.
Hey, look,
Ooh.
I enjoyed
And you
all
know what?
those
You
hours.
know what, SloMo? You know, my Bridgeport brother, you know,
Yes.
you're the PC dude. Why are you playing that on PS5? What's up with that?
Okay. Well, this is why, right? So look, I was looking at
help.
No. Well, I wanted to play with other people, right? So I wanted to play with people that, you know, we're gonna definitely be playing the game, so I can have some fun with co-op and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And I looked at everyone who I knew was playing the game, and the majority of the people were going to play it on PlayStation. I wanted to get it on PC, but then I still might get it on PC because now that I got my Steam Deck that came in today.
Did you play it in co-op at all? When?
Oh yeah. I
times
played.
playing through?
I played a lot in co-op. Just you messing around with Luca. It was fun. But just on one character. I did all the co-oping with Luca. The other 2, I just basically just did it solo. But it was weird because like the only person I co-op with was Luca, and I went to PlayStation because I wanted to co-op with a bunch of people, but like really no one else was really co-oping like that.
Oh, you talk about people don't play games on PlayStation. That's what you're saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Careful.
I mean, that's what it just sounded like. You just say it's like I wanted
What
to play
I'm
with a bunch of
saying
people,
is that
but nobody else was playing.
No, I think there is. Okay, well, we can talk about this. And look, I'm not trying to shame.
okay,
I'm not trying to shame the Souls community or anything. But I feel like there's a lot of like judging in the Souls community. And like, I think people take, you want to co-op with me? What you trying to say? I can't beat this on my own? I'm like, no, I'm just trying to like, you know, play games together with people that, you know, and have fun. Like I have fun with Luca. You know, Luca jumped in my world, and you know, she laughing at me falling off cliffs and stuff. Like I probably died to gravity more than anything in Elden Ring, and we had fun.
Man.
But I think a lot of people are just like, man, I ain't really trying to co-op with people until I beat the game myself, and then I'll like, you know, like, so like it's kind of like a ego, a humble brag, not even humble brag, but a brag kind of thing, you know. So I get it, it's fine. But no, look, I enjoyed getting the platinum the way I did. I didn't save scum. I had
Save scum, like that's a bad thing.
well, that's what they call it. That's what they call it.
What
So
SloMo made it a purpose to say, I did this without
It's
saying
like, I did this without save scumming, unlike other people.
like,
look, no, it is
it's
okay.
a legitimate strategy.
Well, look, even if you don't save scum and you just do new game pluses, that's a way to do it too. But I think the way I did it was even harder than that, because with new game plus, you retain all your weapons at the levels that you got them at. The only thing you kind of lose is like the ball bearings with the twins and the stronghold. That's the only thing you really lose. But you could like really prep before you go into new game plus by just getting a bunch of smithing stones if you wanted to, like, say, dual wield the same weapon in new game plus. But like, it's easier that your next playthrough through a New Game Plus, because like it doesn't scale like terribly in New Game Plus, where it's like, oh man, I'm getting one shot by bosses and things like that, and I'm level 2000. No, it's not like that at all. But like when you do completely new characters, and I was doing completely different builds with all three of them, but like you gotta do everything all over again. You gotta do the farming and level up and figure out what works for that build and find stuff all over again. That stuff gets annoying, but it's fine. It's fine. Look, I wasn't trying to do anything. I wasn't trying to throw shade to anybody. I just said this is how I did
You know
it.
what? You know what? Speaking of shade, did you find that audio clip?
Yes, I did.
Where is it?
You really want me to do this right now?
I absolutely no. I just want to know if it's going to happen today because I want to see it.
Okay,
Or hear it.
we'll get to it later. We'll get to it later.
Okay, I just want to make sure you found this audio clip.
I did find this audio clip. Matter of fact, because our first topic is, well, we'll get into how everyone's week has been, and we'll get into the first topic, because that can kind of tie into our first topic here about God of War.
But it's about that.
Yeah, this is definitely about God of War. But before we do all that, Deli, tell us how you've been since we last seen you, and what you've been playing, sir.
I actually haven't been playing anything. I have been crunching at work.
Really? I thought I saw you.
Yeah, there was just a hard
Halo
deadline
Infinite.
that came up. I mean, I played a little bit of Halo Infinite, yeah.
Okay. Well,
It was just one day. It was just one day.
I
No.
don't know why.
Stop it.
I don't know why. Just wait.
Hey, I was just trying to,
Just
hey,
wait till,
you know,
wait till May
rank,
3rd and see what happens.
rank reset, and I just decided I'm gonna go play a little bit.
They just made all our ranks irrelevant because they let people out level higher than they should have been the first time through.
I mean, it's still irrelevant to play ranked, to be honest with you, but I find
It very much is. There's no real chase to it right now.
I find that the only fun I have in that game is to play ranked. So,
Well, yeah, because that's where the BRs are. I agree.
yeah. But other than Halo, no, I got off crunch last week. So Sunday I was good. And then I started my weekend Monday, Tuesday, and that's when you guys caught me playing Halo. And then
It was a very, very illuminating stream. Very illuminating stream.
it was fun. I can say it was definitely fun.
You also have been doing this interview with, how do you call it? Is it Developer Insider?
Oh,
Or-
it's Industry Insider.
Industry Insider, where you interview developers. That's been really cool. Like I really enjoyed that. Like just getting a insight into how things work and how, you know, people from different backgrounds and different aspects of making a game, how, you know, what their whole process is, and you guys get deep into the conversation, and like I think you may have catch like 65% of it, but it's been cool. I'm enjoying it. How's that been for you?
Oh, it's been a whole lot of fun. I've been trying to tell the guests to keep it like technical, but like educational, but like also at the same time, like people don't care. So like just give it the surface level, because if we spend 20 minutes talking about how, you know, we're creating 4K, 8K textures and then a mip map just so that, you know, that's how Spider-Man's suit looks so good when it's zoomed in. It's actually just a high-res texture. It's not like the suit isn't actually that like high-res. Like we could spend 20 minutes talking and breaking that down, but nobody cares. People are gonna lose interest in that kind of stuff. So
I wouldn't say. I mean, look, I find that stuff fascinating, but maybe I'm just weird. So
I mean, we can. I mean, I try to keep it.
It's probably better than reading books, but yeah.
I try.
oh my God.
I try to keep it surface level so that it's entertaining and people. The idea is that I want to keep it casual enough, and entertaining and educational enough where people are able to take away from the stream with more fun facts and bite-sized sound bits. Then you know, because there's no way that somebody's going to regurgitate 20 minutes worth of information.
I think you do a really good job of you know, giving people that type of information in a more attainable way. That's something that you're really, really good at.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I just last episode, they're not episodes because they're individual interviews, but last guest that I had was a dear friend of mine who worked at Treyarch. He was the gameplay programmer on Nazi Zombies, the original Nazi Zombies. And so I talked to him about like 20 minutes about like why the first initial build didn't work, why people were clipping through walls, why, you know, how many zombies is too many zombies. And he went into how he created an RNG system for the mystery box, and how that worked. So yeah, it was a bunch of cool stuff. And then we talked about the future of the industry, and today I had one guest that is a novice in the games industry. She graduated college and flew from Venezuela to the Netherlands to work at a startup. So that has been very interesting as well too.
Yeah, definitely. Today's been such a busy day. I haven't got a chance to check out the latest one, but that's awesome, man. I'm definitely going to check the replay of that, probably in the morning, because I'm probably going to be dead tired tonight once I'm done with all this. But yeah, that's awesome, bro. You definitely got to keep that going. Shout out to Erodimus for the $2 super chat saying, let's go. Sup, Erodimus. Hope you're having a great evening. Rand, man, what have you been playing, man?
This is
nothing really. First off, I want to give a shout out to the 30 real people watching the show. Great people watching the show. Hit the like button if you love what Forte and SloMo be doing on DPS. I see you got the new layout and everything, or at least I think it's new. Last time,
yes,
it is new.
Brand new.
Very sleek. I love
brand new, brand spanking new.
Still got that new car smell going on.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't really played anything since Elden Ring. Nothing's really caught my attention. I own everything, so I was like, I have Tiny Tina sitting there. You know, like you name it, I own it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like, I don't know. I'm waiting for something to really like catch my attention, and there's really nothing right now. So I'm currently reading the Rift Wars cycle, which was the first fantasy series I read when I was 15 that actually got me into the whole genre, and I never finished it. So it's a 25 book series, so I'm on book 7, so I got a long way to go, but I'll get through it. So yeah,
you be burning through books fast. Like
I do read pretty quickly.
I was like, all right, so Rand was like, yeah, I just got started with the Stormlight Archives. I was like, bet, okay. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing my reread. He was like, okay, I finished the Way of Kings. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. All right, well, you on Words of Radio? No, I just read that. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. You just read like 1,100 pages that fast? Yeah. I'm on Oathbringer now. I'm like, what, did you read Edge Dance? Yeah, I read Edge Dance, and then I'm on that. I'm like, damn.
Almost like I read them all except for the last book, and within like what was it, like a month, I was done with all the books or whatever.
Yeah, so now he surpassed me. He knows more than I know about what's going on. I'm just like, damn, Rand. I mean, good grief. Like, Rand reads so fast that he's already read the manuscripts that Brandon Sanderson has made. He didn't even given it to the editor yet. But no, I'm definitely, I feel you on kind of like not really feeling a lot of different games. I've tried my best to play other things, but I end up going back to Elden Ring. I actually did play Horizon Forbidden West, so I'm making some progress there. I've played only a couple of hours of Tiny Tina Wonderland, but I know once I really get started in that with like the way the build diversity works in Borderlands games, I'm going to be in that game for hours, just creating new builds and trying to, find different ways to break the game. So that's definitely going to be something that's on the docket eventually. But I'm glad, like, a little bit happy that some of the releases have slowed down a little bit so that I can kind of get caught up, because I haven't finished Seafood. And
you haven't finished Seafood? What a game! That game is amazing.
Yes, and I also haven't finished my my rerun of God of War on PC, which I haven't finished that yet either. And since I brought up God of War, we can talk about a little tweet that came out. Was that today or was it yesterday? I think it was. No, it was yesterday. So
that is a professional segue, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I tried. But shout out to Bruno. I'm about to butcher this last name. Villegas, I think that's it. Well, anyway, Bruno is an animation director at Sony Santa Monica, and Bruno has been working on God of War Ragnarok, and he tweeted out yesterday that Ragnarok is coming this year. And this was after someone had tweeted him to ask if it was definitely coming out this year or not. And, you know, hey, look, this is a guy that is animation director and probably well, Deli could clarify this. Animation, it was probably the most difficult part to, well, not most difficult, but like time consuming aspect of game development, right?
Yeah, it's one of the pillars that take up the most time. Especially when you do performance capture, because we have to import that data, and then we have to when we import that data, it's just dots on the screen. So then we have to map it to the skeletal meshes, then we have to map it to other things, textures, skins, whatever it may be. And then after we map that, the character is simply just the skeleton is just moving, so they have to go back in and hand animate all of the facial features and the skin, the wrinkles, the cloth physics, and all of that stuff. So Kratos walking down the street could potentially take anywhere between a week to 2 weeks, 15 to 20 days, depending on the length of the animation.
Yes. Thank you for explaining that. So, like, with that known, him saying the director of animation saying it's coming out this year seems like it's a sure bet that it's coming out this year. Now,
Forte's about to call him a liar.
Yeah, apparently, you know, since Forte was adamant that this game wasn't coming out this year. I mean, he was just on this show actually earlier this month on April Fool's Day. Maybe it was an April Fool's joke, I don't know. But on April Fool's Day, Forte told me it's not happening. And this was mostly because he was really feeling himself after correctly predicting that Breath of the Wild 2 would get delayed until 2023. I gave
Which
him
everybody
his
knew
props
was
on
happening.
That. Yeah, pretty much. I gave him his props on that. I said, hey, you know, you were right, sir. You know,
Forte is most of the time. Forte is right. He's usually right a lot of the time. So, you know.
Oh, you don't want to say that. You don't want to say that to SloMo.
I mean,
No?
look,
Okay.
he gets some things right. He gets some things right.
Forte,
But-
I need you to believe everything you read on the internet. So
No, definitely
Yeah.
don't do that.
But look, it was. I gave him his props on Twitter, and you know, Forte started to really feel himself. Thought he, you know, like everything I say is right, and therefore, because he had told us previously that Breath of the Wild 2 would get delayed and God of War Ragnarok, he's like, yo, it's definitely going to get delayed. It's not coming out this year. And I'm just like, hey, look, what do you mean? Like, Sony definitely isn't going to have their only first-party games, like, be done with first-party games already by, like, March for the rest of the year. Like, it's definitely coming. And, you know,
Last year, so.
Yeah, play.
Well, no, they had June. They had,
March, June.
Yeah, Ratchet Clank was in June. Now,
Just play it.
Forte. I have to give people context. Yesterday on Brad, you know, shout out to Enrique and the crew. Forte denied, you know, that he was this adamant that it wasn't coming out this year.
Ooh. Is he?
And so,
Oh, okay. He's backtracking, huh?
No, I'm not. Didn't
Oh.
do no backtracking.
well,
I still said it's not coming out this year.
okay. Well, let me bring the receipt, sir. Okay. Are you ready for this? You ready for
Yes,
this?
I am. I am ready for the receipt.
All right. Let me.
Like I said, it's not that I want the game to come out. I just feel like Sony has never. They haven't. You tell me the last time Sony released a game in the fourth quarter. Nintendo was probably an example. Last time I did it.
And you can say it was because they were releasing the console, but they did 2020.
Yeah, because they were releasing the console. Absolutely. Well, you gotta have some. Well, they're not Microsoft releasing a system without a game. I'm gonna need you to turn that up, sir.
You can't hear it?
So let's be Barely. real.
I have it like right in front of
his
my
mic.
Yeah, I really did put my phone to my mic.
Are you serious? You can't even just.
I want everyone to hear it, man. It was on our show on April 1st.
Oh my god. Okay. Can't even bring receipts correctly.
This is how I brought receipts every single time.
Oh, they sound better than last time.
You guys can't hear all. That guy Smitty says you can't hear it. You know what? Look.
Too low.
It's way too low.
I mean, yeah, I can barely hear what he says. Where's Luca when Luca's got receipts?
Right,
Luca.
Luca and her receipt giving is phenomenal.
All right, let me.
You need to learn from your mother.
I will add this to our DM, and then you guys can look.
Just add it to OBS and play it so we can all hear it. Let's go.
Oh, you know what? Let's do that. That's a great idea.
Yeah, that's right. Put it in put it in your menu. Well, change the scene. Put it in the big window scene and play it there so it comes through for everybody to hear.
Oh, okay, all right.
Unless you don't have audio set up in that one.
No, I'm gonna have to figure out how to. Well, look, I'll get it figured out. In the meantime, Deli, what do you think about God of War coming out this year and the confirmation?
I've always thought that God of War was coming out this year. I still think that it's coming out during the summertime. That's a personal opinion.
Okay.
Interesting.
So you said this summer, so you're thinking summer it's technically August is summer. So you think like August or even earlier than that?
Well, September is technically summer, so.
Probably beginning of September, late August area. Yeah, I have zero facts to back this up. I just believe it with all of my heart.
I actually felt the same way. I actually felt the same way about that date. Well, not really the date, but like the time period, like late summer would seem like a good idea for it to drop to me, especially if they want to make sure, like, they have some delays, but they want to make sure that everything is good to go. But you also want to make sure you have it out this year. Give yourself as much time as possible. And yeah, like that's still a good time period. You're not really hitting holiday because they don't like to drop stuff in the holiday, but you're still getting it within the same time frame that they normally like to drop games, which like they dropped the game last summer, so it makes sense.
And you're not going to get destroyed by a competing game like Elden Ring.
Yeah. Again.
So
Elden Ring could re-release. I don't know. Elden Ring could re-release the complete edition and launch direct the day after God of War. Who knows? Anything could happen.
I heard that it was possible that they may come out with DLC for Elden Ring later this year. Like, based upon what people have said about like DLC for other From Software games, they normally come out within a year of the official release of the game. So, I mean, I think that might be a possibility too.
Very well could be. So I'm a couple opinions of this. One, I mean, just because the animation director says it, like, what's he supposed to say? Oh, no, sorry guys, the game's delayed. You know what I mean? Like,
he didn't have to respond.
Well, sure, he couldn't respond, but I mean, yes, as of now, as of last year, the game was scheduled for 2022. So he's just repeating that the game's coming this year, which is what Sony's been saying all year. So I would expect nothing else from him. I guess he could just ignored the message.
Yeah.
But him saying it's coming, it's like, yeah, I mean, I think it's coming this year. I also agree with Deli that it's probably September, at the latest October, I think. And then if it's any later than that, then it's probably 2023. If it's not September, October.
I think that I disagree with October only for the fact that launch window, and we define the launch window as anywhere between 9 to 12 weeks after launch, would encroach on Starfield. That's the only fact that I have backing that up. I would like to think that they would be keen on the hype behind Starfield. So that probably September. It would give it enough breathing room.
Sure, but I mean, and again, it was like, what if the game's not going to be ready till October? Sometimes it's gotta game's out when it's finished, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because I think Sony is going. I personally think Sony does not want a repeat of Horizon Forbidden West, where they launched this game and it just gets swallowed up by Elden Ring, right? So I think they want to make sure that something like that doesn't happen. So like people are like, hey, just delay it to 2023. Sony doesn't need it this year. And maybe there is some truth to that. Like if you can't make consoles and you sell out of all the stuff you make because you can't really make consoles, then do you really need to release any of your games? Why not better hold it till next year when you maybe have consoles to sell in a large quantity, and kind of do a repeat of 2018 where you have Spider-Man and a new Spider-Man and a new God of War releasing the same year. But then like you don't really know what everybody else is doing next year. And what happens if you position God of War against Breath of the Wild 2 and the unthinkable happens?
Or you position God of War 2 late in the year and your fiscal year, or you run a deadline to where you tell the studio you have to hit this hard deadline right before our fiscal year ends. And
well, Sony's fiscal year ends. Oh, Sony's fiscal year just ended, didn't it? They ended in March.
Yeah. So it's just starting now. So that's. I think it would be a strong case for them to start off the fiscal year with something like this, because as far as I'm aware, there's nothing coming out slated for summertime. It's late spring, early summer. I think Forspoken got pushed back to October, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It got pushed back to October.
Yeah.
The thing about summertime, it's like, I went back and I looked at the last 3 big Sony releases from this gen so far. Horizon, Gran Turismo 7, and Ratchet and Clank. And because I actually talked to Forte about this when he called me the other day, because he was also talking about how he doesn't think God of War is coming this year. And I'm like, kind of like, maybe not. So Ratchet and Clank's release date was announced 4 months before the release. So February, when Ratchet launched in June. So they gave it 4 months. And both Horizon and Gran Turismo 7 were announced 6 months before release. So Horizon was announced in August for the release in February. And Gran Turismo was announced in September for a release in March. And we're already basically May at this point. So I think if you don't see the release date announcement by the end of June, I think it's delayed to next year.
I do think we'll get that release day announcement before June is
because at least if you announce it by June, that gives it July, August, September. I mean, even still, you're really cutting it short. And maybe you can make the argument you don't really need to market God of War, because 1, it's gonna sell itself, and 2, you don't got consoles to sell anyways.
Yeah.
But you would still want to push it because it is. I mean, they had a huge, massive game. You know what I mean?
They had a spectacular rollout on the previous game, and they had a spectacular rollout for Horizon. So I would suggest, I would believe that about 1 or 2 month breathing room for that huge marketing push, because we've seen that statistically in the last 3 big summer blockbusters that they've had, Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, and Ratchet and Clank, these last 3 years. So yeah, to me, I think that what you're saying is credible. If we don't hear anything by June, it'll either be one of those release dates that is like, hey, by the way, it's coming out next month, and we're gonna get that. If we don't hear by June, then we're gonna hear some news really quickly right after that, because I'm sure that Sony and Sony Santa Monica are already talking if there is any potential issues that are cropping up late. So yeah, I give it the last time that there was a delay, I think it was a 3-month delay. Sony's usually pretty good about that. So if they submit a delay now, then it'll be July, August. And if they submit a delay in June, then it'll be October, November, which again is in that very dangerous window of
because you have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which is supposed to be the kind of resurgence of Call of Duty again after a couple years of being down, right? This is the sequel to 2019. You got Sony also is doing marketing for Harry Potter's Hogwarts Legacy, which is probably going to be massive. You got Starfield. It's going to be, Todd Howard, new IP is going to be huge. even if it's not on PlayStation.
But it is on PC, so that is also
Yes.
something that you have to think about as well.
And they have a large community on PC with the modding community and all that stuff. So like it's definitely going to be a big game, regardless of whether how it's received.
I asked one of my PlayStation buddies, one of my PlayStation sources, after because the reason we're talking about God of War outside of the animation director confirming 2022 release was because they gave an update about the game because it was its 4-year anniversary on Thursday or Wednesday, the 20th.
Yeah.
And the reason people are doubting a 2022 release is because they didn't mention anything during this video. And I believe like even Cory Barlog said they're not ready to show it or whatever. So a lot of people are like, I don't know, man, like it's 420 and you know, it's like there's not much left of the year. But I asked a buddy of mine and I'm like, so what's up with God of War? Is it 2023 at this point? And he says no, that still set schedule for 2022 and that Sony Santa Monica is confident they will be able to hit this year.
Ooh, cool.
So
real quick, shout out to the Ash and Luca with the $5 super chat. She said, "Is that my Boo Boo Bear and Bestie Boo Boo guesting on the panel?" I guess.
Is she talking about Deli?
I don't know. It's either Deli or maybe it's both of them. You know, maybe Deli is Boo Boo Bear, and Randy and I said Randy and Randy's Bestie Boo. So it's both of you guys. So like Luca is shouting out both of you guys, I guess.
Luca's the best.
Yes, she is.
Yeah,
she is.
She's also
pretty awesome.
Real. We love real people.
We love real people in this
Real
community.
people's the best.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because personally, I don't think Sony needs God of War. I actually think Sony is probably frustrated with the how Horizon Forbidden West and Gran Turismo seem to have performed. Especially Horizon Forbidden West, because I think Elden Ring just destroyed its legs. And normally when you see big exclusive releases from these companies, that's also when you get a spike in hardware, right? But because of the shortage, the chip delays and everything, right? Like they didn't really sell that much hardware in February or March. In fact, all signs point to Xbox outselling PlayStation with no games, right? So I wonder if there's also the possibility they're like, well, we could release God of War in September, but what if we don't have any stock and we just waste the release of God of War when a God of War release would normally sell us millions of consoles and bring us millions of fans? Deli, do you think that factors into it, any decision at all, like the whole hardware thing with the shortage and stuff? Or do you think it's like, nah, game's ready, we need the money for the quarter, put it out?
It is also a cross-platform game, so they can still rely on some people who like, I can't wait for the game. I'll just I don't have a PS5 yet, but I can just play this on PS4 and then I'll
so if I'm Sony version. Like I am just frustrated by the fact that I can't make these systems as much as I wanted, right? And Horizon Forbidden West should be in a game that sold millions of PS5s, and judging from it, like it couldn't, simply because there weren't those PS5s available to buy.
Yeah,
that's probably a lot of the reason why they sorry, I cut you off. Let me finish this sentence real quick. That's probably a lot of the reason why this is cross-generation.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's very true. I guess maybe the sense is like, well, if we delay this to 2023, do we really want to do that? I don't know. I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of thinking September.
Well, I mean, okay, so let's think about it like this, right? You're Sony. So let's say, let's delay this to 2023. Do you know for a fact that the chip shortages? Do you know for a fact that TSMC is going to deliver? Do you know for a fact that AMD is going to have enough? Do you know for a fact that the manufacturing pipeline is going to be back up, I don't know, let's say 30% above what it is currently in the next 6 months, say 8 months? I don't have those statistics. I have no idea. But my guess would be since the last 2 years that this thing has been out almost, I'm assuming that the manufacturing pipeline hasn't gotten any better. Because if it hasn't gotten any better by now, then it probably won't get any better in the next 6 months.
It's gotten better for PC GPUs, but that I haven't seen anything yet that says that supply has opened up for the Microsoft and Sony and their supply lines with AMD and TMSC. Everything has showed that like Nvidia and AMD directly with their contracts and the stuff they got going on with the aftermarket suppliers for GPUs and stuff, things are getting better. Like pricing still isn't close to MSRP, but it's still getting better to the point where you can actually go buy yourself a GPU. But unfortunately, we're not really seeing the supply shift at all. And it may just be that it hasn't, like, supply hasn't, for that particular chipset has not been like completed yet, or maybe like the way, if I recall, the way they did is that they would purchase a lump sum from AMD, and then it would get made and then put into the system. So like maybe they already put an order in and they're just kind of waiting for that to get delivered before they do the next one, and then maybe it'll be more available then. I don't know. I'm kind of spitballing it, but it is weird.
PlayStation drops.
Well, that, and because like I don't really see a lot of Xbox Series X consoles being available either, but the Series S is the one I see that's most readily available. At the one I think that's kind of really
there was a huge drop of Series X consoles like a couple weeks ago.
Oh really? Oh okay.
It was available on Amazon for like 2 days straight and stuff. They had a massive drop.
Yeah, they were available. I had them in my store and throughout my whole region pretty much for a week and a half.
Okay. Never mind it.
That's the thing that I actually was talking to Deli was at a party. I said it's probably a good chance that PlayStation might win NPD this year because they have another massive drop coming up Saturday across all GameStops and stuff, and I know they're going to be at other retailers too, where it's not a small drop, it's a pretty big one, and they had one at the beginning of the month on April 2nd. So there's a good chance that they're going to really have a lot of a really big push for the month of April compared to Xbox had, like Ray said, they had theirs a couple of weeks ago. I haven't really seen any, unless the S is just selling that well. PlayStation has a really, really good chance this month, but in general, PlayStation's not the easiest thing still to find.
Well, Forte, PlayStation was supposed to win every month. What are you talking about?
Oh no, I know. Yeah, I know. That's what. But see, what's the funny thing is when, if I remember correctly, when we were all talking, I remember having this conversation, on this show and on BRAP and everywhere else, and especially on Crossfire. I was like, yo, who you think is going to win next generation? I said, whoever has the most systems. Oh, you still think Sony's going to outsell Xbox even with supply restraints? If one system is supply restraint, the other one is too. I was like, sir, whoever has systems available is going to win. And that has literally been what it is. If PlayStation just happens to more systems, they're going to win. If Xbox has more, they're going to win. This is probably going to be the most contested month because Xbox started out the month really, really well when it came to like their surplus and supply of systems, where PlayStation just had 2 massive drops this month. So I'm really interested to see what that number turns out to be for the PlayStation side for the month of April. But the reason my whole thought process on the whole God of War not coming this year is not just because everybody knows I love God of War. I want the game to come out this year. It just doesn't make sense for them unless they're going to unless they talk about it in the next month to 2 months and they say there's a release date before September. I just don't see them releasing later than that. It's not that I don't want it to come. I just don't believe it's going to come before September. And if it's not going to come before September, it's not going to come this year because their whole supply restrict ain't going to get any better unless they're going to do it like immediately soon, because they already put a forecast out that they're going to sell less systems this holiday than they even sold last holiday. And that's a complete different reversal of what they said going into last year when they had their predictions during their earnings call. Basically, their earnings call is coming up in the next week or so, next couple of weeks or something like that. So we're going to get a really good snapshot of what their actual idea and what their push is going to be for the year 2022 going into 2023. I think if you see some really inflated numbers over the first and second quarter, there's a really good chance that God of War might release this year. But I honestly believe that's going to be tied to what system availability looks like. And I do think, like you said, PlayStation 4 was a key part of that, because that's the reason they went cross-platform. I don't think that game was always meant to be cross, because if they had the systems out there, I think they would make that thing next gen only. But I do think that, supply strength is kind of hurting it, but I also think that they do want to get as many people over to PlayStation 5 as possible, and God of War, for the near-term future, is the only game that they really have available that's going to do that on a massive level, outside of people just buying the system because it's available.
Okay, so let's just Forte. Well, first let me get Luca's super chat, then we'll
get your mother super chat. Let's go, mama.
You're a mama, but let's see. So shout out to the Ash and Luca with the $5 super chat. She said they should have delayed Horizon Forbidden West, but how are they to know Elden Ring will perform the way it did? It's unprecedented for the series in terms of sales, which is very true. Like, they outsold all of their other previous games within a few weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks. They had already outsold them. So yeah, although the hype was very much there, and there was a lot of people that was just like, yo, I can't wait for Elden Ring. Every time they showed it, it was huge hype. But yeah, I don't think anybody expected the kind of sales that
to
they
be
got.
fair though, Horizon had the February release date, and Elden Ring had the January release date, and then they delayed it to the week after.
Yeah, that is true.
So Elden Ring delayed it, or Elden Ring delayed a month, and it was like, all right, well, Horizon Forbidden West was already delayed, so it was like, okay, we're good,
Yeah, they couldn't
stick
avoid
out
it at
there.
that point.
So it's like,
yeah.
what were they gonna do? Like, well, delay it again? I mean, obviously hindsight's 2020, and maybe they should have, but what are you gonna do?
True.
Because everybody on Twitter, like, I remember like Benji and like Matt Piscatella were like, who's gonna be number one? And everybody was like, Horizon Forbidden West or Pokemon, right? Like, everybody was like saying that, and a few people. And then it just happened to be Elden Ring, because nobody expected Elden Ring to sell 12 million copies in, what was it, 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something?
I thought it was 1 week. I'm not even gonna lie.
It may have been like 10 days or something like that. I think I saw like the sales. It was definitely after a week, but it may not have been quite 2 weeks yet when I saw it hit like 13 million or something like that. And I was just like, 13 million.
I mean, those are ridiculous numbers.
That's Cyberpunk
like,
numbers,
especially for like Dark Souls is always, the Souls franchise has always been, they're good sellers, but they're very like, I hate to use this word, but like niche, right? Like it has like its audience.
Oh,
and
first 3 weeks, by the way, guys. First 3 weeks. And then Elden Ring, for whatever reason, was just, even though like the Souls games have their audience, and that audience is like 5 million or whatever it is, some reason they convinced 7 million more people than normal to buy it within the first 3 weeks. I don't know how, but and the Metacritics, did reviews matter? I mean, were people who weren't going to buy it suddenly see that 97 and are like, all right, I'm gonna have to check it out now, right?
Right.
I mean, to put that number of sales in like statistics, like Modern Warfare 3 sold 10 million copies in 1 day, which is Call of Duty. That's pretty normal. Elder Scrolls Skyrim sold 10 million in 1 month. GTA 5 sold 10 million in 3.5 months. Borderlands 3 sold 10 million in 8 months, and God of War 2018 sold 10 million in 13 months. So yeah, imagine doing those numbers in 3 weeks, topping games like Skyrim, which has basically universal critical acclaim. Nobody could have seen that coming, especially when this franchise is normally selling somewhere between 270 to 300,000 sales within the first couple months. That's unheard of to think that.
It has been trending up though, because I think Sekiro sold like 5 to 6 million, which was their previous highest, and then I think what was the one after Dark Souls 3, right? Was like around like 3 to 4. So it seems like as they've released games, the Souls community, so to speak, has grown more and more. And then now them going, it's like, it was like the perfect storm of Elden Ring being more open world, a little bit easier.
I would love to know the breakdown of pre-orders versus like day one, week one buys, because most of the sales are digital, I believe, right? So like,
Yes.
I wonder if Microsoft and Sony knew what was about to happen based on number of pre-orders for that game at their stores, and then how many pre-orders they had, and then versus like how many people were suddenly buying it the day of, or the second day, the first week, where like people start like, oh yeah, this is going to be massive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, did they know based on the pre-orders, or was it something else?
I think Sony definitely knew, because there was especially at the retail side of it, there was a huge difference in disparity between Xbox and PlayStation. Like, the point I ran out of Xbox versions on the first day, PlayStation I didn't run out for like 4 days, because I had like 4 or 5 times the amount of the games on PlayStation 5. And I think, and we had more pre-orders on the PlayStation 5 version, but normally they don't order that many copies of it. So I think they saw something when it came to that game, because we had inherently way more people that just walked in on day one that bought that game than all our pre-orders combined.
Wow. Interesting. Forte, I want you to hear something. Are you listening to the stream on your phone or something? So because I'm gonna play it through my computer so that everybody can hear it.
We can all hear it if you play it through Discord. I mean, through OBS. Just play it.
I'm gonna play it. Here we go. Marketing strategy and their release strategy. The Sony doesn't always do the same. Nintendo released.
When was the last time Sony released a game over the holidays?
Hold on. You using Nintendo as an example, and yet Nintendo has released Pokemon games and Smash Bros in the holiday season before.
I'm listening to it.
Recently.
Forte, it's on stream.
I'm listening to it now.
So like, how are you using Nintendo as an example of what Sony may do?
Because we're just talking about certain games. Like Pokemon always does it. Pokemon is always released in November. Like the one that they got coming out later this year. I forget the name of the ones that's coming out this year. They always come out in November. They also didn't release their brand new one, Arceus. They released their remakes for.
That's the first part. Like, YouTube is weird with not allowing me to put more up there. But here's the
They can release it this summer. They can release it in August. It could be released then. Like, it's just like this whole thought that it's definitely not this year, and it's April 1st.
Okay.
Like, it's April.
Okay.
We have 8 months left in the year. Like, all
We do.
right.
I'm just trying to put feet to fire, and you don't want to take it.
Tired of taking your money.
Yeah, that's interesting, but you just don't want to go with the flow on it. But I'm with you though. But I do think that Zelda being delayed is good, just because in general.
I'm still waiting.
What are you still waiting on?
I'm still waiting where I said that it was not coming out this year. I never said. You said I
Wait
said
a
it was
minute.
not coming.
That's the entire
No,
point of the conversation.
no,
You
no,
said
no.
it wasn't coming out
You
this year.
No. You said that I said if it doesn't come out by a certain time.
No, I didn't say that.
Yes, no, that's what you said.
No, you tried to say that.
Let me mute this because I'm hearing both sides of it. Okay. No, you said that I said that if it don't come out, if it's not, I said it's not coming out at all. What was it? I can't remember what you said yesterday. What did you say yesterday?
No, you said it wasn't coming out, period. This is what you said.
I said it's not coming out, period.
Even after the animation director said, look, I don't even need receipts. I don't even need to go back to it, because you're still saying the same thing that, like, look, at least Rand's like, well, if they don't announce it by a certain point in time, I don't think it's coming out. You said that after Rand said that.
No, I said that yesterday. I said that weeks ago.
You didn't say that weeks ago.
I mean, even Deli said the same thing. If they don't announce it by a certain point,
right,
it's literally not going to be coming out this year.
Yeah,
which is fine. But that's not what Forte was saying. Forte was like, it's absolutely positively not coming out this year. I bet you money, SloMo, it's not coming out this year.
And yet you did not want to bet me money.
Because I'm tired of taking your money, Forte. I'm sick and tired of taking your money. I don't need your money.
SloMo, make a bet with them and just be like, listen, I won't take your money, but if you lose, you got to read the Way of Kings.
Oh,
If you-
yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
I mean, I'll take your money, Forte.
I know.
I'm shameless about it. I don't care, bro. I'll take your money every day of the week.
Literally sat up here and said, if the game is not really, if you do not talk about this game multiple times on multiple streams, I said I don't believe the game is coming out this year. If they don't talk
quote
about
unquote,
this game,
feet the fire, Forte. Look, no, I want you to read 1,000 page. If it comes out this year, Forte, if it comes out this year, I want you to read 1,000-page book, The Way of Kings. Let's go.
No, I'm not stupid.
What?
Now.
Huh?
That's stupid. That's a stupid bet to make.
How is
now.
it a stupid bet? I'm actually helping you.
Because we got more information. I told you the developer came out and said it. It's like I can't go against that.
You were going against that 2 minutes ago. You just said it's not. You still think it's not coming out this year.
I said, in my opinion, the game's not coming out. But my opinion is
Deli and Rand. Did he not just say I still think it's not coming out this year?
Does that say it's not? Is that an opinion, SloMo? Is that an opinion, Deli? Is that like a 100% certainty?
If you don't think it's coming out this year, you have no problem making this bet because you probably not going to you're not probably not going to have to read a 1,000-page book, right?
When was that stream that you just pulled from, sir? What was the date of that?
That was
stream?
April 1st.
April 1st. We didn't have this information that this developer came out and said about this. The animated artist came out and said.
What
about
does
it.
that matter? You're saying he's wrong.
It's more information, so I could be wrong. And you should have took the bet then, and you would have been good.
You know, this is all I needed. This is all I needed is you contradicting yourself multiple times in just 2 minutes. I love it. I love it.
Don't you? Okay? Let me ask you this: if somebody literally if a person that had like something to do with the project walked into your room and said, "Blank, all of these things that you're saying is pretty much false because the game is coming out this year." They know more information than you do. So even if I have an opinion that the game's not going to come out this year, you think I'm going to go against what they say? I'm still going to live on my high horse and say, yo, the game still may not come out this year. I don't think it's going to come out this year because Cory Barlog hasn't said anything about it. Whenever they physically show the game, that's when I will be 100% certain that the game's not coming. But there's more information. It's just like the same conversation we had about Xbox and PlayStation, about Xbox selling more systems. I gave it up to you early because PlayStation came out and upped their forecast. Remember, we were getting articles throughout the whole year saying PlayStation's not going to meet their demand. PlayStation went from 15 or 17 million systems at launch to only having 10 million systems available at launch. And then when Sony came out and announced that, no, that's not true. We still have the same amount that we were forecast to do, and that they had forecast for. And I was like, you know what, SloMo, I'm gonna probably lose this bet because I don't think Xbox gonna have that many systems. And I gave you that bet early because more information came out. So don't make it seem like when more information come out, I always like change the narrative. I'm like, no.
I'm not saying you always do. I'm just saying you're doing it now. Shout out to Blade X in the chat who's calling you Dance Moves Forte, man.
That's fine. Call me whatever you want. Just because I'm smart about what I say.
Oh god. Look, we can move on. We can move on now. Look, I had to have a little fun with you, bro. It's all good.
Yeah, I'm about to go now. Now I'm about to go find it. Now since you did your job and you found the clip, I'm about to go find the clip of me saying exactly what I said well before that. That hey, even if this game comes out, they need to announce it before before the summer, and you're gonna be like, oh. No, I won't, because I said it on our show.
You didn't say that, but look, all right, look, we can move on. Shout out to the 35 people listening to Forte dance and shucking jive his way out of this. What's up, Deli?
I missed when DPS was a book club.
Yeah, I did too.
You should read mine and SloMo's DMs.
Forte, you know? I'll take your money, man.
No,
I'll bet you $100 it comes out this year.
Ooh.
Mm.
No, I'm good.
Oh, you don't sound very confident, sir.
And he says he has no inside information about it. It's just he feels.
I don't have any inside information on it either. If I had inside information on it, I would bet on. I was gonna bet SloMo just because it's SloMo. I don't mind losing to SloMo. I'm not losing to random people. Well, Deli, you're not.
Wow, hold on, sir.
Walk that shit back.
Deli is not a random person.
All right, Deli, you're not a random person, but you know what I mean. I'm not just gonna bet randomly and lose money. No,
Hey, that's fine.
I'm not like other people.
I apologize, Deli, for Forte. He is
It's
out of
okay.
line. You are not a random person.
I'm unfollowing you on Twitter.
It's been a rough podcast for Forte. Jeez.
Oh man, we gonna move on. We gonna move on to the next topic. Shout out to everybody in the chat once again. This next topic is about Amy Hennig. So apparently, Amy Hennig is her studio is called. Let me switch over to this. Her studio is called Skydance New Media, and they're actually already announced that they're working on a Marvel game, but they didn't say like which Marvel character or which group or whatever, but it's definitely like a Marvel superhero kind of game. But they're also making a Star Wars game. And so there's no details in regards to what kind of game it is, or the story, or the setting in the Star Wars universe. But it is definitely going to be a Star Wars game. And me seeing this, I'm starting to notice, like, ever since they kind of got out of that deal, that exclusive deal with EA for the Star Wars IP, there have been a lot of Star Wars titles that have been coming out. Shout out to Gaming with Persona with the $20 super chat. Said, take that bet, Forte. Here's my donation. Said, take the bet, man.
Shout out to you, Forte. Shout out to you, bro.
He still ain't gonna take the bet, Persona. It's all good. But look, I actually had a question about this because I'm starting to see so many of these like Star Wars titles coming out. And I mean, they kind of list some here in the article, but they didn't even get all of them because there's also the Aspire remake of Knights of the Old Republic, which is the one I'm looking forward to the most because Knights of the Old Republic is one of my favorite games of all time. But there is the Quantic Dream Star Wars Eclipse game. There is the Ubisoft Massive Entertainment, who made The Division. They got an open world Star Wars game that is probably not going to be like The Division, but maybe a little bit different.
It's going to be great.
You sound very... Is that sarcasm? That sounded like sarcasm. But...
No, it's I believe in the team at Massive.
Oh boy.
And,
okay.
Ubisoft.
Yeah. And there's also 3 games being made by Respawn Entertainment. The sequel to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I can't wait to play that because Fallen Order was fire. A new first-person shooter, which Respawn is they're the kings at making FPS games, so that's going to be probably be pretty awesome. And then the strategy game being co-developed by BitReactor, which are a studio of former XCOM developers. So I guess what my question is to you guys, so we can start with Rand. Rand, do you think these are too many Star Wars games coming out, or is it just enough? What do you think?
No, I don't think that's too many because a lot of these games are going to be spread over a whole bunch of different years. And honestly, I thought we got too few when EA was in charge of the license. Yeah. I mean, I'm down for a bunch of Star Wars games, even though a lot of the movies suck.
True.
The world and the universe is super cool. Out of all those mentioned, I think it's the 2 Respawn games I'm looking forward to the most.
Oh, which one? The Fallen Order 2 and the shooter?
Fallen Order 2 is going to be, it's going to be amazing, but
right.
That's supposed to be this year, but it's probably going to get delayed to next year. And then their first-person shooter, I mean, it's Respawn. First-person shooters, I mean, come on, you know? Like, it's like, it's, I'm trying to think of, man, what if they did, like, Republic Commando or something?
Man.
I don't know. I have to see what Amy Hennig's game is all about. Wasn't she working on like a Star Wars game before when she
under EA
and then it got canceled?
Yeah.
And then she left. So they must have maybe really liked what she was working on before. I mean, like Lucasfilm it's not only like Star Wars, they got a lot of projects. Like they just partnered up with Rare on the Sea of Thieves Pirates of the Caribbean thing. They're also doing Indiana Jones with Bethesda. So like they're cracking open that whole like Lucasfilm vault to make a whole bunch of different stuff. So,
I wonder how that works with. Okay, like, and maybe it's a question that Deli could answer. I wonder how it works with. So EA was working and canceled a Star Wars game that was supposed to be story driven that Amy Hennig was working on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now Lucasfilm Games and Disney, they own the IP.
Yes.
Can they take the assets from that and say, all right, we want another developer to do it, and then Amy Hennig's got her own studio. Hey, make that same game that you were making with EA that they canceled for no damn reason. Go ahead and make that game for. Is that possible, or is that something like EA would be like, nah, we kind of developed it, so it's still ours?
It depends on the licensing. I mean, there are several times when, look at Kingdom Hearts, right? Disney owns the IP. Square Enix is just licensed to develop the game.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't actually own Kingdom Hearts. So that's something that could happen as well too. Like Lucasfilms, I'm sure owns Star Wars. So it could be one of those things where Lucasfilm says, you know what, everything that you created for us in contract wise is our stuff. So hand over everything, and then let's move this to some other studio. Or it could be something along the lines of like, hey, we're giving you complete creative freedom. We're just going to come in once a month and make sure our IP is not damaged, or you guys aren't, or the characters that you guys are using are recognizable.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to see you next month. And you guys get complete creative freedom. And this is your development studio. This is your development house. These are your assets. I don't have access. Obviously, we don't have access to that contract, so I don't know.
Right.
But judging from how Lucasfilms has operated in the past with the Star Wars IP, I think it's highly likely that they're able to retain all of those assets and move them to a different project or reuse them.
Cool. I also kind of wonder if Skydance New Media, Amy Hennig's studio, if that's comprised of a lot of the devs that were working under EA, because for example, Jade Raymond, a lot of the devs that followed her to, I can't remember the name of her studio now. They Sony just acquired them. Haven. Yes. So a lot of the devs at Haven were also devs that worked under her with Stadia. Google Stadia's first party studio. So like I wonder if that's how, like, if these are like a collection of devs that she trusts and they're talented that have followed her from one studio to the other. Like that would make sense, especially if they end up using the same like IP or assets or whatever that they were using under EA. Then like, yeah, you would want to kind of make sure you got the same people who had all that creative, were putting all those creative juices together for this game to begin with. My question to you, Deli, is same to Rand. Do you think this is too many Star Wars games being developed, or is it? Do you think it's just like Rand felt that EA didn't make enough Star Wars games, so this is kind of like making up for lost time?
I agree with the sentiment that Rand has. I think that the Star Wars media is much more than just the movies.
Mm-hmm.
This license is absolutely amazing. It's ripe for the picking. It's very dense in lore, characters, universes, and just a billion other things. I don't think there could ever be enough Star Wars games. Although myself, I stopped being a Star Wars fan after a certain point, like probably around freshman in high school. But I'm always happy to revisit. I'm most excited for KOTOR because I did not play the original.
Oh, really?
Yes, I did. I actually did not play the original, so I am excited to play this one. I think I asked you this, or I might have asked somebody else this on in another occasion, whether or not I should play the original or not. And I believe it was you that said just wait to play the remake first.
No, I definitely didn't say that. No.
Oh, okay, never mind. It wasn't I.
It was that. I would definitely tell you, please play it. Like, even though they said they're not going to change the core story or the core characters, that like it might be more of, they're definitely changing the combat. That they did say that the combat would be different. It may be more action RPG-ish. RPG-ish instead of the kind of queue up attacks and then pause, kind of old school BioWare kind of gameplay. But the characters, Revan, Bastila, all those characters are going to still be the same. The story in its story arc will still be the same, but they'll just be adding more to it. So I imagine like Final Fantasy VII Remake-ish, where they didn't really they did change a lot. Let me not say that, but
I dislike the Final Fantasy Remake, which is a lot of the reason why I'm scared to play the KOTOR remake, because I'm scared that if I experience KOTOR the remake exclusively as the remake and then go back, there could be some, I don't know, creative liberties or some new systems or mechanics at play that I dislike that definitely would take me out of the experience.
I guess
if I just play the original first, then I could probably appreciate the remake more.
Well, I guess it would kind of be determined by why you didn't like the remake, the Final Fantasy VII remake. Was it the changes they made to the story, the fact that it was more of a sequel than an actual remake?
Yeah, more story. A lot of the fleshed out character moments felt, I know that they wanted to go back and like really dive into it, but I felt like it was entirely unnecessary. I think Cloud is a horrible character. I think a lot of his problems could be resolved if he just opened his mouth, but that's a personal opinion, I guess.
Oh man, I think you both probably made a lot of people angry in the chat. But go ahead.
Yeah, I think that there is a lot of things that Final Fantasy VII did right, and I think that a lot of the focus on the remake was spectacle and making sure that everything looked good, and less much like retaining the original intentions, which is really odd to say since it is like the original team and composer and such. But I felt like it was one of those things that they wanted to go back to make sure that they did it right this time, quote unquote, but it's not like they did it wrong the first time. So
I mean, I believe like beating that game multiple times, I see the vision that they have with it. It is very much more of like Final Fantasy meets Back to the Future. Like it's very much a sequel than like an actual remake, which I do think, I probably should have made that an example, because from what Aspire has said openly, as well as to people who are in the know and have sources with them, that they're not really changing the story at all. So look, sum this all up. You should play KOTOR. Play it.
Okay.
Play it. It's available on Xbox and backwards compatibility, or you can play it on PC through Steam. Like either or. I think
play it through Steam.
Definitely play it through Steam.
Like, can I just buy it on Steam?
Oh man, don't relegate yourself.
Yeah. Your eyes may start bleeding if you try.
I'm completely okay with going backwards and dating myself to those games. I don't mind if it's in 30. I promise.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely give it a shot. I think you'll like it, especially with the way that story works and how BioWare fleshed that out. Drew Carpenter, who was the lead writer on the Mass Effect series, sorry about that. That was kids upstairs. Drew definitely like put his foot in on this story in this game. He did a great job.
It's only $10 on Steam.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
I'm
it's
gonna
like
buy right now.
2 decades old. It better be.
I want to know if Rand is gonna go back and play it again.
That's a good question. Are you?
What, KOTOR?
Yeah.
I've already played KOTOR.
I said, are you gonna go back and play it again?
Why the hell would I go back and play it again?
I don't know. Maybe
it's a
nostalgia or
classic?
something.
I mean,
I've
if
played
I'll
KOTOR
play
like
it
7
when
times.
I play it when the remake comes out, but I can't go back and play that old ass stuff, bro. I'm sorry.
I can't.
Oh man.
That's why, like, I want to tell Deli, if like the story is gonna be the exact same, just wait for the remake. Because the story is what makes that game great.
Okay.
As most BioWare games. Combat is, it's nothing special.
Right.
Is it more of a hindrance than an asset?
I wouldn't say so. It's dated, considering that games are like designed like this anymore. Even BioWare stopped before BioWare.
When people talk about KOTOR, they don't talk about the gameplay. They talk about the story.
Yeah, the characters.
Nobody ever that talks about KOTOR is talking about the gameplay. It's simply that amazing story that is told by BioWare. Now, if we do find out it's changed somehow, I'd be like, well, yeah, you should have experienced the original, but Brian going back playing that again. Going back.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go back and play KOTOR, the original, and then I will give you guys my opinions on it. I probably will be very strongly opinion if I do run into anything that is horrendous.
You should stream it. You should stream
And
it.
then I will attempt it, yeah. And then I will play the remake and judge it with.
Do you know
full
anything
force.
about the story?
No, literally I don't
Zero,
know.
nothing.
I don't know anything.
You've
about the
remained
story.
unspoiled all this time.
Yeah, let's
That's
see.
amazing.
KOTOR, what? That game came out
2003.
Three,
don't
2003.
2003.
Mhm.
I was 8.
Oh, okay.
Or
You were
sorry, I was
8.
6. I was 6 when that came out.
Damn, I was in my 20s then. I think Forte was in his 40s then.
Yeah,
so.
definitely.
I'm still in my 40s.
Oh, interesting.
All these years?
Yeah, butterfly effect.
I'm impressed.
Forte. What do you think about all this? What do you think about Amy Hennig making a Star Wars game, and two, what do you think about potentially there may be too many Star Wars games coming out, or do you feel like it's
Never
still
too
not
many
enough?
Star Wars games coming out.
As long as they're not based on the movies, right? Yeah.
That's true. That's as long as you keep the movies out of it, we're good. No, I think it's a good chance for her to rectify a fault by them canceling 1313. A lot of people.
Oh wait,
especially
1313 wasn't hers. That's a different Star
that
Wars
was a different
game.
one. Yeah, you're right. That was a different one. Yeah, but just the fact, I always think we should get more and more Star Wars games. That's one of my favorite IPs of all time and stuff. It just comes down to getting someone that's going to make a good one. And I have a lot of faith in her when it comes to like just the story narrative end of it. I think that's going to be the part that I'm really looking forward to, because that's the thing we don't get in a lot of Star Wars games. We don't get good stories in our Star Wars games with the exception of a few of them. And I think the world is big enough. It's so big to the point where you can kind of talk about anything. You can talk about, outside of just Jedi stuff. You could talk about just the High Council. You could talk about, the differences in factions and stuff. You can go all the way into the lore of the Jedi and everything like that. I just think that there's so many different places they can go with it where it actually would be fresh and new, that it could bring something to the ethos that we haven't seen before in a video game form or even in movie form, because, we know Disney ain't gonna do it, so why not get it in the media that we love the most, which is the games. And I think story-wise, that's something that she can really definitely bring to the table, because I knew that's something I was looking forward to the last time that she was involved in the Star Wars IP. So I think it's a good move, and I wish her the best in what she's doing, because Star Wars fans are fickle, and they're very, very fickle, and they know what they want when it comes to that type of stuff. So in general, let's just hope that it lives up to the expectations.
It's interesting. We have all these Star Wars games coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
But where's my Mandalorian game?
Oh yeah. Well,
I'll make sure Ubisoft is on that for you, Rand.
Okay. I don't know if I want Ubisoft to make a Mandalorian.
No, you want Ubisoft on it, buddy.
Do I want Ubisoft on it?
You definitely.
Deli,
want
are you saying that that's what the massive
is it-
entertainment game is? It's a Mandalorian game?
No, I have no idea, but I'm just saying you would definitely want it on it. I'm anticipating 2 games on the Star Wars list. That is KOTOR remake and then the massive entertainment game. That's it. Those are my
Now,
top 2.
why would
Everything.
I want Ubisoft on a because I'm kind of sick of Ubisoft games, Deli. I'm kind of at my point now where they're all basically essentially the same.
Did you play Watch Dogs Legion?
I did not play Legion, no.
Oh, okay, I just want to know what you felt about that.
They ruined Far Cry. I can't play Far Cry. I love Far Cry so much, and then they made Far Cry into every other Ubisoft game.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I didn't like. I like Far Cry being its own thing, and Assassin's Creed is too bloated at this point. It's just they won't bring back Splinter Cell. Maybe I forgive them a little bit.
A remake.
There's a remake coming, but how long did it take?
After 6 prototypes, yeah.
6 prototypes is a lot.
Yeah.
It is a lot, yeah.
I like Massive Entertainment. I'm a Division fan, so their Snowdrop engine is beautiful. And every game I've seen in it has looked amazing. I think Massive might be probably like on the high end of Ubisoft's developers, whether people want to, whether people want to take from that, whatever. But I think that them taking on this, if any Ubisoft developer was going to take on the Star Wars IP, I think Massive is probably the one that best to do it with that engine. And they got I think they're 750 developers total there. I know some of them are definitely working on that Avatar game that they.
What if they're working on a Battlefront game? What if that's Massive's game, Battlefront 3?
Battlefront 3?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a possibility. Yeah, that might be it.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind that. I actually kind of feel like I kind of wish they would do something different, like a new IP altogether, for them. But if they're doing Battlefront 3, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
I do, because they can't even fix Battlefield 2042.
Huh?
That's EA, man.
Oh, you said Battlefront. What did you say, Battlefront 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, I said, what if
Oh, okay. Well, listen, it just when you said Battlefront, I just started thinking DICE, because DICE just irritates me.
You just saw red, huh?
I did, because if you were sitting here saying, I want to see a Battlefront 3, can we fix 2042 first?
No, they ain't fixing. This is EA. They don't go back and fix their games. Haven't you realized that?
They can't.
No, I know they can't.
Unlike other devs unlike other publishers who'll give their devs time to kind of fix stuff. Like EA's just no, we're on the next one. No time. Anthem. Oh, you want to fix that? Too bad. We're moving on to the next one.
Right.
Battlefield 2042. Nope. Move on to the next one. No time.
Hey, wait, whoa. Battlefield 2042 slander. Hello. They just got VoIP.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We're almost there. Say what you will about Halo Infinite, but Halo Infinite's gonna have content for a long time.
Halo Infinite had VoIP on launch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at least 343 is handling things well.
Although SloMo, what's his face is now head of the Battlefield franchise. So is he gonna deliver? Magic
Vince. Yeah, Vince. Yeah, I mean, look, it may take some time. And also, the guy who's game bombed. What's the name of that game? Disintegration. The guy that was the art director for Halo, and he kept trying to make Halo use Halo to market his game that was terrible. That guy. So he's also got his own studio under EA, and they're making something that for, I don't know, is it something Battlefield related, definitely. I just don't know.
Do you
exactly
remember when EA is like, hey, Visceral, makers of those awesome Dead Space games, why don't you make a Battlefield game?
Yeah, Hardline wasn't that bad though. I liked Hardline.
I mean, Hardline was alright, but I mean, come on.
Yeah, but no one wanted to, which is probably why it bombed, kind of, because people was like, nah, fam, we want Dead Space. So
the horrible thing about it was Battlefield was primed and ready to be the new COD, or at least compete with COD at the same level, right? And they just squandered it. just went down the tube, bro. When I was coming out of Battlefield 3 on the 360, I'm like, all right, Battlefield 4 is going to be it. And it wasn't at launch, but it eventually became really good. It's like, all right, well, it's only a matter of time before Battlefield overtakes Call of Duty. And then it didn't happen. And I feel bad now. Battlefield 2042 basically doesn't exist anymore. What has become of DICE?
They're trying to fix that, but I just don't think. I think it's too late. I don't think there's anybody that's going to care enough. I know with Thor, they it launched badly, and then they fixed it, and then a lot of people came back and enjoyed it. But I don't know. I feel like this is different with 2042. I don't feel like it's going to be the same for that one. I kind of feel like it's dead. They might need to move on from that and just say, hey, look, just take the L. Let's move these devs.
I took the L. I bought the $100 version
I'm
at
sorry.
launch. I took the
sorry.
L on that.
That hurts.
Yeah, I only played it a few times because my crew bounced off that game fast because it was not good. So L taken.
Okay,
EA can't redo.
Last question. I want to ask you guys, KOTOR. So I hear the name Revan a lot. Is that the main character you play as?
No.
No.
Oh, okay, never mind. I'm so confused when people talk about it.
Don't worry. Don't even worry about who Revan is. Just play the
Rev
game.
is just the single greatest.
There's just a singular character in the game, right?
Yes.
Side
Yes.
character, what, antagonist?
Revan is
Just play the game. Just play the game.
yeah.
Oh, you can tell him who Revan is.
Revan is amazing. That's who Revan is.
When you start the game, Revan it was a Sith Lord that was
Yes.
leading the Sith against the Republic and royally whooping their ass basically. So
Oh,
Yeah,
that's fine,
Revan's a badass Sith.
yes,
Oh, that's what's up.
very
He
very.
used to be a Jedi.
Yes, he was a Jedi at 1.2, and you'll be trying to like following his footsteps of like where he went and how they were able to get so powerful in such a short period of time, and a lot of things will be unfolded from there. So yeah, but no, your character when you start the game is not.
Revan was the first one to bleed, wield the amethyst blade.
What a name to Darth Revan.
Darth Revan.
Isn't it?
What a
cool?
name.
I know.
Reverend.
I will. I will.
Now I'm imagining that game in current graphics, current like gen standards. And I'm
Remember when they
yeah.
did the original cutscene for that game, the CGI trailer was like, yo.
I wonder what the gameplay is going to be like. Is it still going to be turn based?
No,
Or is it gonna be, like,
they did
action
confirm
focused?
it's they are changing the gameplay. So I imagine it will be more action RPG.
Can we get
So
like Final Fantasy VII remake? Essentially.
Maybe who knows? Like the thing is that like Aspire is known for doing the ports to mobile, but I don't really know what else Aspire has done. I don't know if this is like really in their wheelhouse or not. So I'm kind of
This
on
is
the
like
wait
their
and see.
first big like project.
Right, and I think they were, because of their previous work and the fact that they hired like 50 former BioWare developers, and a good number of those 50 did work on KOTOR back when it was back in the early 2000s. So like I think that kind of helped them attain this IP and let Lucasfilm Games feel comfortable allowing them to do the remake. But this is definitely like a opportunity for them to kind of level up, so to speak, because they haven't really done these kind of big AAA projects before. But I mean, we'll see what happens. Talking about reboots and remakes,
I hope they
Sega.
keep the turn-based combat. At least have an option for it. I prefer it.
We'll see. I don't think they're gonna do an option for it. But like if they allow you to pause the combat, because that's something that you can do in the original KOTOR, you can pause the combat and like queue up attacks and kind of like strategize how you want to handle a fight, especially if you're losing it. That's something that you can do. But I mean, we'll see how it turns out. Another reboot or remake that's apparently happening is Bloomberg has reported that Sega is developing big budget reboots for Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio. Now, look, I ain't never played Crazy Taxi. Maybe I'm
Really?
I have, but Jet Set Radio, that was my game.
Crazy Taxi must be much bigger than I think it is.
Yeah, I just dismissed that game. I never played that game, but look,
Man, Dreamcast all day, man. Let's go.
Forte, or not, yeah, Forte. Would you have something to say to SloMo about this kind of thing? Because that article also mentioned that these games were part of that.
Oh yeah, the super game.
Part of the super game, and that these games might even come to Game Pass day one. And SloMo was out there being like, that deal meant nothing, etc., etc., etc.
Look.
And then Random Jazz
based
were saying
upon what they
the
said,
the deal is
based
more
upon
involved in a lot of stuff, and
look, based upon what they said, and based off of the wording of how they worded the deal, this was a strategic alliance between Microsoft and Sega. But none of that said anything about games coming to Xbox or Game Pass or any of that. That's all I said. And I know a lot of people was like, yo, we're getting Persona 6 on Game Pass. And I'm like, whoa, slow, pump your brakes, sir. I don't want you to be disappointed when that likely ain't happening, okay? Like we ain't seen a Persona or whatever off of a PlayStation yet, right? So like too many people was just thinking that this meant, oh, they're buying Sega. Oh, all this other stuff is happening. I'm just like, hey, like all we got here is they're working on a super game initiative, and they definitely want to use cloud technology with it. And I'm looking at everything that Sarah Bond said and everything that the Sega CEO said. I forget his name, forgive me. But like none of that said, hey, Game Pass. So I'm just like, that's all I'm saying. That look, if Jez has sources that say, yo, look, everything they making go into Game Pass, then look, I will take the L.
I don't think it's anything like that, but you know, this article does mention Game Pass.
It does. Although, look, it says this will be the first entries in the Super Game Initiative. Now, if I recall correctly, I thought the Super Game Initiative was one big game. Like, the way they described it, I imagined it was like their take on like Oasis from like, what's the name of that? Ready Player One, like something like that. Because they were talking about using cloud and some unique and different ways. And so I was like, all right, well, if that's the way you're going with it, then that would be like an idea that I had. But this doesn't seem look, if you're just rebooting Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio, which I'm not complaining about because I love Jet Set Radio, that doesn't
people have been
seem
asking for reboots for those for a while too. So
yeah, that just doesn't seem like a super game initiative kind of thing. You know, it just seems like a typical reboot.
Maybe they just forgot the S at the end of the game.
I'm confused about when the Jet Set Radio remake will come out, if that is going to damage the Bomb Rush Cyberpunk guys at all. I hope it doesn't.
Well, can you expand on that? Like Bomb Rush?
Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is the spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I have to look that up there. I didn't know that.
It is something, I guess it was like an indie game.
Is Sega publishing that?
No, it's actually being published by the indie studio.
Well, it's probably completely separate then. Like they may be able to do both. Like, you know, because like a spiritual successor isn't like legally you could make that and not get in trouble. So like they could make that game and it be like even kind of like, you know, hint at things that may have happened in Jet Set Radio and Jet Set Radio Future, but not necessarily like get in trouble for doing that, but then also still have like a reboot of the original Jet Set Radio. Either way, I can't wait to play that because Jet Set Radio Future was I love that game. I absolutely loved it. Forte, what do you think about this, man?
The fact that you haven't played Crazy Taxi is crazy. Let's be for real.
Look,
did you have a Dreamcast?
I did have a Dreamcast. I didn't play
on it. Power Stone. That's it. Is that all you played on your Dreamcast?
I played.
Power Stone?
Yo, look, my memory.
Maybe some Inside NBA, inside, you know.
My memory is awful, bro. Look, what was the boxing game with the dude with the afro? What was the name?
Ready to Rumble?
Yes.
Ready to Rumble, yeah.
I played a lot of Ready to Rumble. I definitely played Power Stone. I also played a bunch of fighting games because I was in fighting games back then. So I was playing Street Fighter like crazy.
Forte's playing like Sega Bass Fishing and stuff, right?
Shout out to AW with the $5 super chat. Says Sega is overthinking it with Jet Set Radio Future. Just give us a native 4K rock solid 60 FPS remake instead of trying to turn it into a live service. Which, look, if that's the case, if they want it to be live service, I definitely agree with you, AW. I wouldn't want that. Just give me a straight up remake and modernize it.
I heard Xbox tried to get that game on back compat. Like really tried to get the Jet Set Radio game on back compat, and it was just a minefield of licensing problems.
Is it because of the music?
Yeah, it's because of the music.
Yeah, because the music was fire. But
I heard they really wanted that game for back compat, and it just couldn't do it. Too many
well, that's something
that's
something that Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is ahead of the curve on. They have the original composer, Hideki Naganuma.
Yeah, but I'm sure back when they made Jet Set Radio, and they weren't thinking that far ahead. Like, hey, in 20 years, right? Like,
I'm sure when they made that game, they were like, "This isn't gonna do that well."
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, very true.
But so like, out of these games, everyone's definitely trying to get both of them. Like I'm only interested in Jet Set Radio, but it seems like I should have played Crazy Taxi.
Jet Set Radio for me.
I never played Jet Set Radio, but I have played the hell out of Crazy Taxi. So
Jet Set Radio is, you know
like,
what? You played
Tony
Sunset
Hawk
Overdrive,
Pro
right?
Skater with
Excuse me.
I mean, I know what Jet Set Radio is. I've seen footage of it and stuff.
Okay.
I just never played it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's very much like when I played Sunset Overdrive, I was like, this is giving me so many Jet Set Radio vibes, just off of the rail grinding. But it's like it's probably slower. It's definitely slower than.
A lot of people were super excited about this announcement, though.
Yes.
Like, I didn't see anybody really poo-poo it. They were like, "What? A new Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio?" Like, people were pumped. And then it kind of gets people thinking about this super game initiative again, because if these two are part of it, what other games are part of this super game initiative, SloMo? You know?
Sonic 06, baby.
You know, is Creative Assembly's FPS part of it as well? Or whatever they're making it, Creative Assembly. You know, so.
Yeah. But you know, it does say in pursuit of global hits like Epic Games is popular Fortnite. So maybe AW is correct that they're chasing a live service thing, which I look, if it's not straight up Jet Set Radio or Radio Future, I kind of don't want to see like some kind of bastardized version of the game where I create my own character and it's just like a big open world of people rail grinding and battle royaling and that. Nah, I'm just like,
Whoa, you don't want a BMX battle royale game?
no. But that also kind of slightly reminded me of Cliffy B's battle royale game. I think that's what you were
Radiant
referencing.
Heights.
Hey, God bless Cliffy B's soul, man.
Oh man, Cliffy B's studio was just chasing trends left and right, and just always missing the wave. Anyway, yeah, I'm definitely hyped for those, but we can go back and kind of get into discussing. Oh my, okay, Aaliyah. Let's talk about this Halo Infinite Season 2. So, like, today they revealed, they actually showed a little bit of gameplay, and they showed the three modes, right? There's 3 modes, and those modes is Last, Spartan Standing. Hold on, let me go find it real quick, because the
King
other
of the
two,
Hill.
King of the Hill. What's the name of the
Land
other
grab.
one?
Land grab.
Lane grab, yeah. Land grab. My bad.
So
Never heard of King of the Hill or Land grab before.
Yeah, two
Totally new modes.
Yep, 2 game modes that basically was created eons ago that should have been the game at launch that were not a part of the game at launch, but we're gonna act like they're brand new.
They're not Forte. Okay.
Yeah, we're acting like they're brand new though. They're brand new. Yep. 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 We're gonna put this out so you can avoid the TV show that we got out that came out.
Forte, do you need to vent? You need to talk about Halo. You need to vent.
Go ahead, man.
It seems like you got a lot of stuff bottled up.
Just go ahead and lay it out. Just go ahead and lay it out, sir.
I'm good, man. I'm good. Go ahead. Maybe I'll be. Just go ahead. Just get on with the top.
No. Tell us how you really feel.
No, man. This game.
Forte, are you coming back May 3rd?
Yeah, I'm coming back May 3rd. I don't know how long I'm gonna be there.
You should come back this weekend, man. We should play some rank together.
For?
Huh?
For what?
For fun?
Oh, okay. Well, for fun.
People play games for fun.
Oh man.
Listen, if Deli wants to play the game, I'll jump in and play the game. But it's like no reason to jump into this game other than just to play with your friends.
What's all the headlines about though, SloMo? It's all about last Spartan standing, right?
Yeah, so there is Last Spartan Standing is like some people in games media have called it the baby, what is it, baby battle royale or baby royale, where it's essentially it's 12 players, so it's definitely not typical battle royale that would be like 100 players, but it's 12 players. They spawn on a big team battle map,
and then you get a specific loadout and only 5 respawns. And so once you run out of respawns, then you're out. You can spectate or leave, like, you know, a typical battle royale game.
You upgrade your weapon when you kill somebody, right?
Right. You get upgrades, like escalation slayer,
and there's a
style things.
closing ring.
You know what this sounds like? Sounds like survival. But no, whatever.
See, to me, Slow-Mo and Forte and Deli.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think that's a battle royale.
It sounds like survival.
To me, it's like 12 people is not a battle royale. First off,
Definitely not. Yeah.
5 respawns is definitely not battle royale. Battle royale is one and you're done unless your teams can respawn you somewhere. So to me, because I saw like a big debate about whether or not this was a battle royale, and it's just like, no, it's a free-for-all mode, you know. So I don't know. I don't think it's a battle royale. I get why people are calling it, but like, it's an interesting mode. I'll give him that, because it's like, oh well, okay, that might scratch my itch a little bit, waiting for the proper.
What's interesting about it, Rand?
Right.
I kind of like the idea of
Survival.
Hey, you shut your mouth, Forte.
That's what it is. It's survival. That's all it is. Literally, we're gonna drop you on a map with a loadout, and you survive against other people with respawns.
It's still new to Halo, though. Gotta give it that.
No, Halo has had survival before, though.
But not specifically like this.
Oh my god. Okay.
What does Deli think, since he doesn't hate Halo like Forte does?
Oh, I love Halo. I just can't stand where we're at with Halo.
Look, man, the only game mode I care about is team doubles,
Facts.
and I don't care about anything else. Vampire Ball might look fun.
I will give you that. Vampire Ball
looks like fun.
Yeah, that does look pretty
And
fun.
rocket repulsors might actually be a good headache.
Oh yeah, shooting people back with repulsing people's rockets. That would be pretty cool.
Ninja Slayer might be fun. It really depends. I was never a huge fan of the energy sword, so
I just think Ninja Sword just lost its luster once they took assassinations away.
Yeah, maybe they can always add them in. Who knows?
You know, that might actually happen. There might be like, hey, season 4, season 4 assassinations
will be added at some point.
I'm surprised they're not in the game yet, since we can pay for them.
You can pay for them?
No, I'm just saying, you know, it's a paid thing, so I'm surprised they're not there.
They would get a lot of backlash if like assassinations was only available through microtransactions. I can see that being a
the
big
good
problem.
ones will be though. The good ones will be though.
But
you know what I'm really looking forward to? When I will come back to Halo in earnest.
Co-op.
When Jez Corden's leaked Tatanka mode comes out.
Oh, the certain Infinity battle royale, the real battle royale,
PvPvE battle royale Warzone mode.
I think that one will hold my interest.
Yeah, it's not like straight up battle royale. Well, it is battle royale, but like it's also an amalgamation of Warzone. So there's gonna be AI on the map and stuff. Which, you know, they're gonna Halo-fy, you know. So it's like,
is there gonna be bosses on it like Warzone had?
I don't know the specifics.
Okay.
So, but as Forte knows, I'm a battle royale nut. That is my go-to multiplayer game.
You used to play a lot of PUBG, right?
I got 900 hours in PUBG.
Good grief.
If I had to put, my favorite game of last gen was Red Dead Redemption 2, right? But favorite experience, probably PUBG. 900 hours with the boys. I hadn't felt that much fun in a multiplayer game since like Halo 2. Like, so, and that's all the multiplayer I play, like PUBG, Warzone, Apex Legends. So like, I'm just counting down the days until Halo Infinite's Battle Royale comes out, probably later this year. I would imagine probably around the 1-year anniversary, probably end of season 4, maybe it's beginning of season 5 or whenever that is.
Yeah. I thought I saw something that said it was tied into Forge.
Yeah, Forge. Well, so it's going to be tied into Forge, and Forge is supposed to be coming in season 3.
Well, how was that implemented? Like, I don't. How was a battle royale in Forge the same? So can people create?
People will be able to create their own like battle royale modes and stuff, maybe even their own battle royale maps. So basically, that's the big problem with Halo right now, is that Forge wasn't available right away, because at least the community would be able to hold it down.
Exactly.
You want these modes and these maps that we can make, and waiting for 343 to make some maps?
Yeah,
we got you.
I think they've only released 3 maps post-launch, and Deli has a very interesting opinion about one of them, which I wholeheartedly agree with. I forgot the name of that map, but that map is complete trash. But like the only one I really liked was Streets I liked. Aquarius I didn't really like too much. The other one is
Streets, Aquarius. I actually dislike all of them except for Live Fire.
Live Fire is cool. I like Live Fire.
Live Fire is good.
I also like the desert map that I can't remember the name of. I never remember the name of that map.
Oh, the Sand Trap video, or the Sand Trap one, yeah.
Yeah, I like that one too. But okay, well, Forte, I haven't heard your opinion about Certain Affinities Battle Royale. Is that something that you'll play?
Probably not.
Why not? You don't like Battle Royale?
With me, Forte. You're gonna play with me.
Oh, I'll play with people, but jumping in there on my own accord to do it, probably not. Probably not.
He's such a hater, dude.
I've never been a battle royale. I've never been a battle royale person though. I played it, and the only one I played was Apex, and I played that for about probably 20 hours, and that was about it.
So you're more of the person like you'll play an arena shooter solo, but you won't play battle royale solo.
Yeah, I can play arena shooter solo all day by myself.
He's waiting for Destiny to get a battle royale to truly get into it.
I won't play that. I'm serious. I can jump in. I can play competitive game modes by myself. I can do all that by myself, but I just never really been into battle royale.
You'll like this one, I think.
What about you, SloMo?
I've never been a big battle royale person, but when I play with friends with it, I'll have fun and I'll keep up with it. Like even since with Fortnite doing the no build mode, because I hated the building in Fortnite. That's been a lot of fun. I've played a lot of Fortnite recently and have been enjoying myself with it. I wasn't really too big into PUBG, and I also don't really like Apex Legends either. But I enjoy the core gameplay of Halo Infinite, and then you kind of like translate that to a battle royale. I can see myself having a lot of fun with it. So hopefully, it's everything that we hope it is, and Certain Affinity really nails it. I might have a little bit more confidence in them than 343 proper. So if it was 343 making it themselves, I might be a tad less enthused with it. But we'll see how it turns out. I also kind of feel like Last Spartan Standing is something that I'm definitely going to try as soon as the season starts out, because I want to see what that's like.
I've never been a fan of free-for-all modes. I just don't like playing multiplayer games solo, I guess.
Oh, I've like always played multiplayer games solo, so this is all me.
Oh, okay. I'm all about the team aspect. I don't know. I never really like.
I don't play the objective.
Oh
Jeez.
my god,
Like
you're that guy, Deli. Oh,
I'm kidding. I'm actually really kidding, because I do actually play the objective. Because if I don't play the objective, nobody else will.
Yeah.
But if I play the objective and nobody, that means nobody else is slaying, so I have to do both, and it's actually really annoying.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Look, we got to get together and do this battle royale when it comes out later this year. I do kind of hope it. I do hope it makes it this year, because that would be good for them and kind of good for Game Pass. Because if the battle royale
for Game Pass, it'd be free, SloMo.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that would be
Multiplayer's free. I think there's a good chance we see a trailer for it at the summer showcase.
Okay.
Because
is that a
no,
something?
that's not a prediction that I know of.
No, that's definitely not a prediction that he knows of, because that wasn't a tale.
So.
Oh, he has a tail?
No.
We'll talk later about the tail. Go ahead, Rand.
I was just saying, like, Xbox is gonna do their show in the summer, right, June, and you'd imagine, Forza is gonna be there with their deal, because Forza has 2 expansions and they haven't even talked about any of them yet. So it's like,
that'll be Motorsport 8.
No, for Forza Horizon 5.
Oh, for 5. Okay.
Yeah, because it's not just gonna be like, at least to me, I imagine a scenario where just like last year, they showed off Sea of Thieves, right, with the Pirates of the Caribbean, because they had an expansion coming. So there'll be a trailer for like Forza Horizon 5's new DLC.
Are we get like Mexico too?
Forza Horizon 5's in Mexico, yeah, but I don't know where the DLC is going to be set. But
Okay.
I would also imagine there's going to be like a Halo trailer, maybe like the roadmap that they promised since January, like, and we got we got Battle Royale coming in season 4 or whatever. That's what I expect.
We might get an update for the for the roadmap.
Yeah, because I just can't imagine them doing a big show like that and Halo not being a part of it, especially because it's still year 1. You know what I mean?
True.
So,
do you guys think that this battle royale that Certain Affinity is making might be Halo Infinite's like last chance to really like catch on with
last chance? They got 9 more years, bro.
No, that's not.
Nah, man, they got 5,000 players holding strong.
The funny thing is, man, I hate to say it, but the funny thing is the fact that this game is gonna, at some point, this game is gonna have so much content in it that it's gonna be hard to ignore it. The fact that it's in a service like Game Pass, I mean, it's unfortunate that it's in a service like Game, but that makes the barrier of entry super low.
The game is, the multiplayer is free though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The multiplayer is free. I think a lot of people are waiting for co-op. I think even more people are waiting for the next DLC drop to come for the campaign. Because I'm more interested in the campaign DLC drop than I am the multiplayer at this point right now. But I do think that there's going to be
we've heard zero about, like, we have no idea when that would ever drop at all. It could be years from now. We don't know.
Yeah, I just think at a certain point, you're going to get so much stuff that's going to be inside of Halo that it's going to be hard to ignore the game. So I think it's going to be fine no matter what at a certain point.
Yeah. I mean, isn't the big complaint right now about Halo is that there's no content?
It's just content,
Yeah. So, I mean, like, they get season 3 with more maps, and then season 4 comes with a battle royale, and then they kind of figure it out like most live service games, and then like it just continuation of just added content.
Yeah,
and they might be fine. I mean, like Rainbow Six Siege was not good at launch, and then like they hit their stride.
I'd argue to say that it's still not good, but
oh well. The critical consensus of Rainbow Six Siege was not good at launch.
Yeah, I mean, well, it also the community, the number of people playing Siege, and then after a while,
then it blew up because it got better. Sea of Thieves, same thing. There wasn't a lot of content at launch, and then it's become popular. Like so, there's plenty of cases out there.
Biggest issue was servers were awful. Like, it was hard to play.
Sea of Thieves' issue was it had nothing to do in the game.
Oh, no, not Sea of Thieves. I'm sorry, Siege.
Siege.
Yeah, Siege's issue, because I remember playing it with some friends when it first came out, and we could, like, it was always disconnects. There was always an issue. Like,
that's just the Ubisoft potato service for you, man.
Yeah, it was bad, but then when it got better, it seemed that's when the player population started to really grow and flourish. But again, like, go ahead.
After Operation Health.
The problem with Halo was that a 3-month season was extended to 6 months, and they didn't have. So like the content that people expected to have after the first 3 months was extended, and the content that they did have was just 2 maps. So people are starving for new stuff in Halo, and it was just like, well, we don't have new stuff. It would be a different story if, like, they had 5 maps dropping, right? So, because the basic gameplay's fire. It's just the complaints were the store microtransactions and that stuff. The challenge battle pass, which was stupid, it still is, and lack of content. Like, that's what the complaints were. So if like you can ease off and actually give people content, and I don't see really a lot of people complaining about the store prices anymore. Then all you got left is figuring out
Halo at that point.
Yeah, all you got left is to figure out a better XP system instead of the challenge they got going on there, and then you're good. The question is, can they get there in a good amount of time? I don't know, maybe.
I feel like the content is a scapegoat for these larger issues, which is like MMR, ranking systems, desync. Still happening all day, every day.
Didn't they kind of say that, like, hey, those desync issues Sorry. like we
Yeah,
can't
they're
fix
just
it.
like, I don't know what to do about them. I was like, I guess it's an engine issue. I don't know.
Yeah, that response was kind of disheartening.
But if
to me,
the
'cause
core,
those desync issues are pretty bad. Like,
if the
I've
core
seen some
content
videos. Yeah.
is still not, if it's not good enough, right, for players, then adding additional content is not going to fix that. That's the biggest problem, at least for me anyways. But I'm also one of those players that are just happy to play the game. Like, I will play Halo in its current state for another 3 months. I don't
Well, I
care.
just think people are bored of the current state of Halo, so they want something new. And it's not. They're not. I mean, woo, 2 maps and 2 modes that already exist. King of the Hill, finally. What? Yeah. Wow. Thanks. Amazing. King of the Hill.
Yeah.
So when's the last time you booted up Halo, Rare?
Oh, it's been a while, bro.
Yeah, I haven't booted up since January.
I played the campaign twice during the review period, and I played like 50 hours of the beta, and it was just like, yeah, that's enough for me. I hated the challenge progression, so I didn't even bother doing any of the. I never went out of my way to do any of the challenges and any of the things. So yeah, I don't even have. If you go look at my achievements, like I don't have. I think I have like maybe 15 achievements because I played the campaign on the other build for review, so I don't have any of the campaign achievements. So
yeah, I know that. Yeah, so most people that play the. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I mean, I know how people like, showing off that they beat a game with their achievements. The fact that a lot of the people I know that had it in preview was like, yeah, I don't feel like going through this game again. But when it came to most Halo games, people love going through them multiple times.
I want to play through it in co-op. I think playing it in 4-player co-op is gonna be a lot of fun whenever that drops.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for, honestly.
Yeah, a lot of my friends that I've played every Halo through with, for them it's been more of their first time going through. Me, it'd be like my second or third time going through. But whether it's been the ones that are just 2-player co-op or when like reach 4-player co-op, we've always played through them. And for the other 3 guys, they haven't even like played Halo Infinite yet. Like they literally just was like, yo, when's co-op coming? I was like, oh well, they said 3 months after launch, so like season 2 it would be like we're looking at February. Okay, cool. Then it got delayed, and it was like, all right, so they extended season 1, so it's going to be probably 6 months after launch, and then they were like, all right. But look, I can just tell, like, just by knowing them, like their interest is. The more it got pushed back, the less interested they were in even trying the game. And that's kind of like my concern with just like getting outside the hardcore Halo audience, getting like the non-Halo players or casual gamers to give the game a try. Like the longer you get from launch and not having content, the less people are inclined to give it a shot. Like even now today, we saw that Outriders had showed a big update. I saw some people talking about, hey, are you coming back to play the game? But the vast majority of people's responses I saw from that was, no, I'm good.
Right.
So even though, like, I mean, I didn't even look at it, and I got like 500 hours in Outriders. I didn't even look at what the trailer was. So I have no idea. It could have been the most amazing thing you've seen all year. And,
Man, that game, I couldn't even log into that game for a month. They could have had gold spitting out of the iron. I wouldn't have played it.
And look, it's that like mentality. I'm not saying Forte's wrong for feeling how he feels, but like people like Forte and Lord Cognito who couldn't sign in on Xbox for like a month and a half, and the developers are just actively ignoring Cognito tweeting at them on a daily basis. Like, you build up this, not necessarily animosity, but just you become jaded to the game, and you just don't really care for whatever they're doing. It could become the greatest game ever created, but you're going to be forever kind of colored by what happened already and not feeling or willing to give it another shot. And if people came in and they played Halo Infinite, and then their second match, they got desync all over the place. Their shots aren't landing. They're hitting people dead on, and it's not registering. And they're just like, "No, I'm good." you know, that feeling, that mentality is real. You know, it may not be real for like everyone, but I see it all the time when it comes to other games that are like good games, quality games, and people just refuse to give it a shot again. So it was Sea of Thieves. You know, at launch, Sea of Thieves was basically collect chickens and collect skulls and treasure chests, and that's it. And then they got campaigns and PvP modes and all this other stuff, but I don't know anybody who ever went back to actually try it. You know, it's just like when you gave it the shot and you didn't like it, it's cool. They added some other stuff and they got a big community and all. I'm happy for them. But like a lot of people just be like, I'm good. So like, hopefully that's not the case for Halo Infinite, and they have a resurgence like No Man's Sky and a lot of other games that Siege that we talked about, Siege that definitely grew. But I mean, we'll see what happens. But
I don't know. We'll definitely see. I love Halo. I'll be there on May 3rd, but
me too.
I'm just super jaded with this game until I just feel like it still shouldn't even be out right now. Right. We should be talking about how excited we are to play it this holiday season instead of last. And I understand people just was excited, like, oh well, you know, we want to play Halo, you know, who cares about the whole experience? I don't really care about campaign co-op and stuff like that. I'm like, man, come on, man. It's not about just one part of the game being ready and the other parts not. It's just some people like the whole experience, and I just felt like you don't treat your billion-dollar franchise that way. You know, it's like literally, it's already bad enough that you launched a brand new system without a tentpole title with it. Mm-hmm. But then when you do release it, you know, you release it and I don't know, man. That's all it is for me, man. Until they get all of these things in order when it comes to the campaign, we get Forge in the game, until we get a proper full experience when it comes to Halo, I'm just pretty much like indifferent with the game until that point. I'll play it, but I just ain't gonna sing the praises of how great this game is. You know, the last Spartan Standing mode could be awesome. It could be, but I just don't feel like I want to praise them for something that, you know, it's just part of a package that is lesser than its whole sums.
Gotcha. Well, you know, I think we pretty much nailed this topic. That's all the topics done. We can move on to ending the show, get our outros done. Want to again thank Deli and Rand for coming through. We really appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Rand, let everyone know where they can find you.
Yeah, well, thanks you guys for having me on. It was great. Great talking to Deli for the first time. You can check me out, youtube.com/RandallThor19. We do Xbox 2 podcasts. Jez is on vacation this week. He's going to a castle, so no podcast tomorrow. But I think we're going to be doing it on Monday because we already skipped a week this month, so Jez doesn't want to skip 2. So we look for that on Monday. And Forte's on me about making videos and stuff. And
he's on you for making videos.
Yeah, he got on me, bro. He called me the other day and was like, "Where are your videos at?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I was like, I saw
making videos for 1 week.
Like I saw Forte put out some videos and it inspired me to, you know, get back in the riding the bike, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm glad. Thank you. I appreciate appreciate me pushing you.
Yeah, I just need a little push, you know, from people that care. And Forte's a great friend, even though he's not my Bridge 4 brother like SloMo. That's okay, you know, that's okay.
What am I then? What friend am I, SloMo?
Oh, well, here we go.
And then Rand, what friend am I to y'all?
I mean, you're just. You got my here. Listen to this. You have my actual phone number. Not many people do, so you're one of the few, Forte.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I love you too, man.
You're the best. Come on.
Share. The only person I'm willing to share you with is Luca and what's his name? SloMo.
Wow.
Well, SloMo doesn't even have my phone number, and he's my Bridge 4 brother.
Exactly.
So,
Well, Slomo don't talk on his phone, so.
oh.
I mean,
Well, yeah, he's usually in Twitter Spaces. That's why.
Oh,
Exactly,
here we
exactly.
I am so look. I have weaned myself off of Twitter space. I can't remember the last one.
Did they even
joined.
exist anymore? I don't see people talking about them anymore.
They're still going on. I think a lot of people. I think the luster is definitely worn off.
Luster.
They only last for the people that people that don't know what YouTube is and can't grow a legitimate audience on their channel.
Oh, I wouldn't.
Whoa.
That's kind of
Wild.
Kind of mean there, Forte.
Let's say, man, why do it for free and you can get paid for it?
You gotta build up. You know what? Let's move. We can talk about this
Just
later.
say, Slomo, how long did it take you to get? How long did it take you, Slomo? It didn't take you that long.
It didn't, but look,
Exactly. That's all I'm saying.
hey, anyway, Deli, thank you for coming through, bro. It's just gonna move. Thank you for coming through, sir. Let everyone know where they can find you, man.
Hello, thanks for having me. I really appreciate that, Rand. It is nice to finally meet you. I always heard the legendary stories of the man in the million.
Legendary. Who telling these stories? Is Forte telling them?
Let the streets tell them.
The streets.
The streets say Rand is the legendary man with the
The
million.
streets be speaking.
Mm-hmm. The
They
streets don't lie.
can't be good though. They can't be good.
But yeah, my name is Agent Deli, again, former AAA Ubisoft dev. Now I hang out on DPS. You can find me on Twitter. I'm most active on Twitter. I'm most active on Twitter during work hours, from 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. So come hang out. Feel free to tweet at me and talk to me and hang out. I'm always happy to interact with anybody and answer any questions.
Cool. Forte, let everyone know. Well, first, Big Mike said I missed his question, so I'm gonna wait for him to kind of like, I guess, retell the question, and I guess we could answer that as a last thing before we go. But Forte, let everyone know what you got going on your channel since you've been dropping videos like crazy.
Cool. I appreciate it, man. Well, first of all, this is a great show. You listening to Rand, listen to the Deli. Talk is always a good thing. Hearing you talk about the things that you're excited for, SloMo, is also really, really good. Appreciate the also great job with the hosting as always. But for myself, Gaming Forte everywhere: YouTube, Twitter, Xbox Live, PlayStation. Xbox Roundup will be out tomorrow. Basically, just going over all of the stuff that kind of happened this week around Xbox. And then if you like the Destiny stuff basically comes out every other day on the channel. So we talk about news and announcement, weapon reviews, and stuff like that. Just getting everybody caught up on the things that they need to do in the game that I mostly love. I don't know if you love it, but I love it. And that's it. DPS Podcast 81 will be on my channel next week. I'm of course Deli and Rand to come back again. Maybe he'll put his book down for another week. No, I'm not really gonna do that to him. But other than that, guys, have a great week. Enjoy your games. And remember, GameStop will have a drop of PS5s in store, all stores, on Saturday. So if you still need to get one, that would be the next best time to get one.
Cool. The question that Big Mike had, and I should have realized this was gonna be the question.
Hey, I'm down for it.
What is the cast take on God of War Ragnarok being called DLC by David Jaffe? I will go first.
Do we really gotta go here? Oh my god.
This could go on for a minute.
We can talk about Horizon Forbidden West and being an RPG if you want, Rand.
No. I refuse. I refuse to make that. Real quick, I think calling any standalone game DLC is a bit dismissive of the title. It's clearly not DLC. Of course, Jaffe, technically based on what he said, didn't mean the game was DLC, but that the trailer made it look like it was DLC regardless. Jaffe's Jaffe. He's going to say things that he didn't quite mean it the way it came out or how it was said, but I think the whole controversy and all of the yelling and screaming and arguing is a bit overblown. In my opinion, yes, I definitely wasn't worth the live streams for like 5 hours and the live screaming and yelling and cussing and all that stuff. I thought that was a bit disheartening, at least for me. Anyone else?
Well,
Well.
Look, how do I say this? So like the DLC thing is like used as an insult, right? To imply that it's like less than an actual game, right? So like PlayStation guys were calling Forza Horizon 5 DLC. In fact, calling it like Forza Horizon 4.5, right? Xbox guys called Miles Morales Spider-Man DLC. It's basically a term that is used to basically describe a game that is very similar to its predecessor. Does God of War look a lot like its predecessor? Yeah, it does. Is that a bad thing? No, not at all. I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't know what people expected. Of course it's going to look like God of War 2018. I mean, come on. This isn't like they aren't rebooting it essentially like they did from what was it, Ascension to 2018, right? So like what were you expecting? It's to me it's just a way to like quickly say that a game looks the same as its predecessor with an insulting tone in mind, right? Like Forza Horizon 5 is just Forza Horizon 4.5. I mean, you're basically just calling you're calling like this big huge game that a lot of people spent their time on for the last 3 years like just DLC. So like it's intended to degrade the game in a way, but in reality it's just a way for people to say that it looks very similar to its previous game. But it's usually only something that really console warriors delve into, because people feel a certain way about that. People feel a certain way when you attack my console, so I'm gonna attack your console, and then you attack their console by attacking their games, man. You know, they copy the animations. You see those animations of Kratos getting into the boat? They're the exact same copy and paste, baby.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey.
So it's just people like you got
if
two
it ain't
groups
broke, don't fix it, right? I mean,
there's
come
two
on.
groups of people that want to like yell at each other really loud, and they want to like basically say my shit's the best. Sorry, I'm not supposed to swear. My stuff's the best. Your stuff is inferior. And you know, the whole DLC thing is just a way to say that essentially. So I don't know, that's my take on it.
Deli?
My take is that that man's opinion doesn't bother me none. I will say though one thing, this DLC is like that kind of, I don't have a negative connotation of DLC. So for me, when he said DLC, I said, hey, that's fine. Sounds good, looks good. Checks out, math checks out, math is mathin', and I moved on. But I also try my hardest to filter out the console war stuff. I actually got a DM on Twitter 2 days ago asking me why I don't follow this person. And I said, too much Xbox console war. And
like
he said,
against Xbox or for Xbox?
for Xbox.
Oh man, an Xbox console warrior. Oh boy.
And then he was like, oh. And I was like, I mean, I also find it disingenuous to follow somebody and then mute them. So I'm just not gonna.
I do that.
We had a nice it was a nice conversation on a tweet that I had in our Discord about that.
So to me, I was like, I don't like your content, so I'm not gonna follow you. And that was that simple. So I try very hard to filter out the console warrior nonsense. So to me, again, when he said that, I was like, okay, that's fine. Do I think it's insulting to devs? Yes. Do I think it's dismissive to devs? Yes. Has my game been called DLC? Yes. And does it bother me? Yes. But at the end of the day, there's absolutely nothing wrong with more of the same thing, especially since that DLC, again, non-negative connotation, Lost Legacy was absolutely fantastic. Blood and Wine, absolutely fantastic. Pretty much every Warcraft expansion, absolutely fantastic. All of that stuff, downloadable content. You download it over the internet, it's extra content, life's great. Yeah, I have no problems with him saying that the trailer made him feel a certain way, made him, that's his opinion. And if he was the head of that game, he probably would not have released that trailer, which is, again, completely fair. Yeah, I have no problems with him saying it. I don't understand the people getting upset over it. I've heard literally dozens of people over the last week and a half say like, oh, you're insulting the entire game. And I'm like, well, he's insulting the trailer, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, well, that's, you know, that you're saying that the entire game, blah, 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 this and that. I was like, look, it's all semantics. It's all this and that. Like, why are you so hurt about one man's comments? And people are like, well, it's because he's the creator. It's like, then he would be the best person to say it, you know? Like, I don't know. He's the one that created the IP. So would you want your IP to be marketed well? Yes. Do you want your IP to succeed? Yes. Do you want your IP to, you know, be bigger and better? Yes. And the trailer that he watched didn't do the job for him. And I feel completely the same. When I watched that trailer, I was like, cool. And I think I've watched it 3 times total since it's been out in the last 10 months or whatever, however long it's been out. The 2016 gameplay trailer I watched like 40 times over. So yeah, I don't not share his sentiments, but I would have worded it better.
Yeah, that's where I fall on it. It's like when I saw it, I really didn't think any of it. I was like, oh, okay, DLC. You know, it doesn't really change my opinion on when I looked at it. I was like, oh, okay. Was I super excited? No. I was just, you know, being a person that loved the first one, was like, I'm definitely going to be there for this one. This looks cool. But, you know, did it show anything that like blew me away? No, it wasn't. So I think that's kind of the way that he probably meant it to be. And I think that's the way he did. He just chose to say DLC instead of saying, oh, that was a cool trailer, but it really didn't blow me away. It really didn't push me into a way to make me feel like, oh my God, this game is going to be freaking amazing and stuff like that. Because, you know, when we saw the original gameplay reveal, a lot of people were like, dude, this is outside of the crazy people say there's no jump in the game. That was the craziest thing. But outside of that, everybody was like, yo, this looks really cool. I like the direction that they're going in. You know, it's a little bit more intimate in the gameplay. There was a lot of stuff to glean from just the gameplay because it was something new. Whereas this is kind of, like you said, it's more of the same with some added, you know, features and benefits into the game. But what we saw in the trailer isn't like something you can play right now. It's like, you know, when I look at this game, the difference is going to be how it feels, and then the way that and the features that they added into the game, like with the, you know, the shield and everything like that. So I think that's where you're going to really see like a huge difference. Is that conveyed in the trailer as well? I mean, I think they do a good job of talking about or showing some of the stuff in the trailer, but a person that just looks at it from 30,000 feet, they played the first one, and if they're not the type of person that goes and, you know, puts the trailer under a magnifying glass, they're probably going to be like, oh, okay, this looks cool. I'm definitely going to play it because I like the first one, but it didn't excite me. But, you know, most of the people in this community, they look at stuff 55,000 times. You know, you see it in their streams, they're playing it over and over again. So it's just there in your face. So they're picking apart every little thing. And that's fine because you're excited for the game, that excited. You know, those trailers got you that excited. It's been a while since a trailer got me super excited for a game outside of it being something brand new that we've never seen before when it comes to like an IP. Normally, when I see something that is just not a rehash, but something that's more of in line, like a sequel to a game that we already played, I'm like, okay, what's the story elements going to kind of look like? What did they add any extra weapons or anything in the game that you could see? You know, when he threw the axe for the first time, everybody was blown away. He called the axe back. We was like, yo, this is like Thor. This is crazy. So I think those were the little things that kind of stood out more in the original gameplay, where in this one you just looked at it as like, oh, cool. I really like what I'm just happy they're making the game. And I think if he would have just said that, people wouldn't have been all in his DMs and pissed at him, because, you know, people are very excited to play this game, and it just seemed like he was the person that kind of crapped all over their parade. And then the fact that he is the creator of the IP, it kind of stings them. It's like, well, how are you going to say this? And you created the IP, and you know, you don't even give any constructive criticism on what you think should have been done differently. But everybody has their own thing, so I ain't really think anything of it. I can't even believe it's still being talked about as much as it is. But it just lets you know that people are passionate about their games, and I understand it. But it's fine. The trailer looked good to me. It didn't blow me away or anything, but I don't need to be blown away because I was going to buy the game anyway because I bought a PS5 for it.
Yeah, I share the same sentiments. I'm super excited for the game, but this trailer wasn't. They don't have to release a trailer for me to get excited.
Facts.
The game won game of the year. I think if you gave me more of the same, then you're still doing better than 99% of the rest of the gaming industry. So cool, cool beans. Thanks, appreciate it.
But is it an RPG?
Oh,
okay, so,
all right. So like,
okay, so 2 months ago,
we're good.
2 months ago. It was like last month's Singer. I was invited on Scumcast, and to debate Singer on RPGs, and I had asked him 3 questions.
Yeah,
I had asked him, is it a sci-fi and or fantasy setting? He said yes, and I said, does it have skills? Does it have side quests? Does it have leveling and XP? He said yes. And I said, do you have an open world? Do you have the ability to travel between the worlds and impact the world in any way, shape, or form? Gathering resources and crafting and other things. And he said yes, and I said it's an RPG. And then he said, and that's all I had to say about that. Everybody saw it. He had nothing to say to me.
Halo Infinite's RPG now too?
Well, the core gameplay loop I actually answered this exact question as well too. The core gameplay loop of Halo is an FPS because if you boil it down to like 30 seconds, it's an FPS first before it adopted RPG elements. I also believe that saying it's an FPS RPG is stupid. That's way too many letters. So yeah.
I think games are what the devs who made the game said they are. So if the developer says it's an RPG, action RPG, Western RPG, isometric RPG, strategy, whatever.
What about a game that
if they said it's an RPG, it's an RPG. I'm not going to argue with people.
And if they changed their identity on the same game midway through the game's lifespan when they changed a lot of systems inside of it.
Wait. Say that first part again.
I said, what about a game that changed all its systems midway through its development when it comes to the game's already out, but they did a lot of updates and they added a lot of RPG elements to the game, but it was considered one thing and they want to consider it something else. Does that still fit the bill?
I mean, yeah, as long as the core gameplay loop involves the RPG elements, because in Horizon Forbidden West's case, if you don't upgrade any of the skills, combat is vastly different than if you had skills or abilities. There are many enemies in the game that require you to have certain skills, certain equipment, certain side quests, certain outfits even.
Certain elemental arrows and stuff like that, yeah.
And there's a lot of things in the game that enhance, essentially, there's a lot of things and systems in play in the game that require you to, play the game, take advantage of it, right? Unity had skills, leveling, and perks and other things. Assassin's Creed Unity can also be beaten 4.5 hours without leveling up your character any of the skills. I would know I did it. So to me, that is not an RPG game. It just has RPG elements. But Horizon Forbidden West is nigh impossible to go through the entire game level 1. It would be systematically and fundamentally a completely different game, which is my reasoning on why it's an RPG game. I highly welcome anybody to debate me on this, but yeah.
Ooh. I think there are a few people out here in the gaming community that might disagree with you. I do agree with you, but I think that would be a very interesting debate if it ever happens.
No, we don't need another.
You will not catch me in hosting a Twitter space.
I was about to say,
actively inviting people to come say belligerent, ignorant stuff to me. I don't have time for that.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, ultimately that's it. But I did want to say one more thing about the God of War thing. SloMo, favorite game of one of your favorite games of all time is Mass Effect 2, right?
Yes.
So we all saw the end of Mass Effect 3. You know, is he dead? Is he not dead? Who knows? We really don't know. I mean, we think he's dead, but if they were to come out, Shepard. If they were to come out, I know he's not dead, but you know, some people think that he might be dead, but I don't think he's dead. But if they were to come out,
didn't get the true ending.
They didn't get the true, exactly. They didn't get the true ending. But if that perfect example, like I said, I'm already excited for God of War. I bought a PS5 for it. What if they were to come out and say Mass Effect 4 with Shepard, you're already in. You're in from day one. You're in from the moment, right then and there, aren't you, SloMo?
Yeah, of course.
Without even seeing anything.
Yeah, even though it seems like BioWare can't write a story to save their life. Yeah,
I agree. Even with that being said, BioWare can't make a story to save their life. If they say Shepard is going to be the main protagonist in Mass Effect 4, you're there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to ask you guys a quick opinion. You guys can just give me 2 sentences. If I told you that I regard Mass Effect 3 better than 2, how would you guys feel?
When did you play the game? When did you play the game? When did you play Mass Effect 3?
On 360.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't be mad at you because I think Mass Effect 3 gameplays wise, until Andromeda came out, I think 3 is a way better playing game. I think Andromeda has the best gameplay. It just has a crappy story. But 3 has by far the best gameplay, but it's more an action game than it is anything else. Like, it's even more of an action game than Mass Effect 2. Mm-hmm. So I think it gets the thing about Mass Effect 3, it gets to the point. You already did all the pleasantries are out of the way. You already got the loyalty stuff all out of the way. It's pretty much everything hits the fan in 3. So if you're one of those run and gun type players that likes to play just pure action games, I can see Mass Effect 3 really lending itself more to you than Mass Effect 2. So I'd never argue with anybody about saying Mass Effect 3 is better because I could actually see why. And me and SloMo actually had that conversation. We said when people play the Legendary Edition, there's going to be a lot of people that's going to come out of that and they're going to say Mass Effect 3 is the better game. Just because in general, the gameplay was better in Mass Effect 3 than was the 2.
The ending.
The ending was the...
To be honest with you, I don't think the ending is as big as everybody made it out to be. Personal opinion.
I didn't either.
I don't
Did you
think
play it at launch?
Yeah.
Did you get the original ending that the developers
before
the yellow light?
Before they changed it? Well, it was just 3 different color lights. I went to the red light, so
the red light.
I went to the red light district.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Where did you go? Rand? Did you go? What light? You go red light, yellow light, blue light. Where'd you go?
Well,
Yellow
you know
light.
what? None of those things ever made sense because, like, I played the first game as I played the trilogy the first time through as a renegade, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every renegade decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you're just like trying to figure out which ending, it's like, well, I should go to the red ending, right? Which is red is the what? You destroy them, right?
Right. Yeah,
destroying them wasn't the renegade option, like.
It wasn't the renegade option at the end of 2. At the end of 2 was take the Reapers and try to control them, which is
exactly. So I felt the renegade option was
the
blue
blue option.
One.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So I was like, I'm not picking red, so I picked blue. So I just went with green. I went with like...
Oh, you went with the
synergy.
The synergy.
Yeah, synthesis, yeah.
Because the color coding of the final things never made sense to me. Because it was just like, controlling them seemed like the Renegade thing, and destroying them seemed like the Paragon thing.
The whole thing didn't make sense.
So you got stuck on...
Listen, I was trying to roleplay as a Renegade, okay? I needed it like...
I never even thought about that till y'all just said... And maybe because I didn't overthink it, because I went straight Paragon on mine.
Yeah, I
instantly went to the red one. As soon as I saw what it was, I went red. I didn't even overthink it. It was like, but hearing you say that, I'm thinking a lot of people did it. Because if you went off the colors, like legit went off the colors, I can see you being super confused.
on which one you should pick at the end. I just went to each one and said, okay, what is this? What is this? Oh, this one is basically destroy. I'm doing this.
I've played through the trilogy so many times that I think it may have been like my third time through. I was just like, yo, why'd they choose these colors? Like it was just like, it doesn't even make any sense why they did this, which is like another negative towards that ending for me. I just freaking can't stand it.
I wonder how many people were really confused off of just the color.
The Mass Effect trilogy is the greatest example of how people feel regarding journey versus destination. SloMo knows journey before destination, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But a lot of people are like, they think the ending ruins everything that comes before it.
Oh no.
But
That's
a
true.
lot of people are. A lot of people will be like, yo, you promised me 180 different type of endings depending on what I've done, and I got 3 color-coded endings that were basically the same, especially at launch before they had the special director's cut. So I feel gypped. I feel like all my choices meant nothing. So the journey was essentially pointless. But then you have other people that are like, man, the journey was so amazing. It really doesn't matter that the end was unsatisfactory, right?
That's so great. Yeah.
Well, I guess that's just the nature of war and everything. You know, to me, I just felt like it was pretty simple choice. You just pick one and have to.
Yeah, but that's not how they marketed it, though.
Of course not.
When they were marketing it as like, nobody's ever done this before, and your ending's gonna be so different,
and you're gonna be mind blown, and this game is gonna make you sit and think.
Yeah,
dude, I legit thought
that though.
And they got all the plot holes. You know, they didn't want to go with Drew Carperson's actual ending, and the ending that Casey Hudson shows left all these plot holes that like Drew was you know breadcrumbing. He was dropping breadcrumbs to get to where it was really supposed to be going, and then it just kind of just like there's just these big plot holes there now, and just it's unfortunate.
I have a question. You all beat it because I haven't beat the legendary edition, so I haven't played it recently to see. When you go up to shoot did any of you guys do destroy in your playthrough?
I did destroy for mine.
So when you did
control for mine.
All right, so when you did destroy, did you have to shoot the container more than once to trigger it?
I think it was one, actually. I think it was one shot instead of more than once. So
because I'm gonna tell you that was very impactful to me because I remember
Forte, you told the story like 20 times, right?
Yeah, I made that decision after calling my brother. I shot that thing one time and I was like, maybe I'm not supposed to do this. Because it didn't trigger the first time. So I literally sat there for 20 minutes, man. But no, I think ultimately what it really just comes down to is, for me, my closure came before I even went up on the Citadel. All that stuff for me was kind of already spoken for when I got a chance to talk to my entire team and stuff through, at the city, through the hologram and stuff like that. That was kind of the closure for me because all the stories that I built up with all the characters that I saved and everything that, went through all the stories, that was kind of my climactic ending of the game. And then it was just finishing the game after that. So I think it just really, everybody takes something different from those games. And I think that's why it was so amazing. The ending, it could have been better. But like I said, I was pretty much at peace before I even got up on the ship. As I was running to that light to get, across the battlefield, I was like, we're doing this. Let's get this over with. Because I had the backing of all my people. And I think for everybody it was different. So I think that's the magic of that game and why people love it as much as they do.
I as someone who hated the original ending, I still love the experience of all the games because I'm always journey before destination, right?
Same.
I will say though, for a while there, like I did think with the ending that I had in mind was SloMo, help me out here. The corruption ending. or
Oh, you talking about with indoctrination and everything?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
indoctrination
the
ending.
theory. That theory
Oh,
was
yeah,
amazing. That was
to
perfect.
me,
It
I was
amazing
just like, you know
video.
what? This is the true ending. I was indoctrinated the whole time. That makes
Yep.
so much more sense.
Yeah.
Because where does the Star Kid come out of nowhere? Like,
Yeah.
there's no hints throughout the entire series that there's
Yeah.
some Star Kid that's gonna show up at the end, right? Like, I'm going with the indoctrination. It makes a lot of sense. I was like, that's what we're going for.
There was
Yeah.
a really good video. It's like an hour and a half long video of the indoctrination theory, and I was like, "Yeah, this makes sense."
If I was Bioware, I would have been like, "Wow, let's just say,
Wow.
You
let's
made a
just
better
say,
ending than us.
let's just say this is what it really was the whole time." But let's go ahead and get out of here. I know we did the outros like half an hour ago. Shout out to everybody for coming through. Thank you, Deli and Rand, for coming through once again. Awesome show. Forte, thank you for being the awesome co-host that you always are. We're going to get up out of here. You guys have a great night and enjoy your games. Peace.
Peace.